Hey, this ain't a drill. Only time I'm playing is on the field. And when I'm on the field, no, I got mad skills. And you know we about to eat this a fast meal. Y'all gotta pay for this heat like a gas bill. We keep on coming back, so yeah, they mad still. 716, make them pay me some bad bills. Red, white, and blue like Superman, so you know we eating at the Super Bowl. Kill the competition, set up the funeral. Josh Allen catching all the shots you go for. We callin' blitz. Ready to start, we ain't calling no quits. I'm the #1 draft pick. A lot of y'all talk, but I ain't hearing it. Only listen to Keyshawn and they talk about the Bills dominating on the field. All our players got them skills. Buffalo gon' make a kill when we talk about the Bills dominating on the field. And our players got them skills. Buffalo gon' make a kill.
Y'all hear that?
Crickets.
Ain't now one of y'all Ravens flock fans show y'all face nowhere. Not one. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Post Podium Podcast, home of the all truth, no sodium, scratch that, all sodium for y'all Ravens fans all week long, because I told y'all I was going to be on y'all all week. So y'all going to get it like I said. All sodium, all week long, in your face. Let's go. What we got, fellas?
Man, what a game, what a game, what a game, what a game. What a game.
I enjoyed myself.
Man, that game was awesome. One thing I got to do, though, I got to shout out the Ravens fans that was at the game. Listen, I've been going to a lot of games, and normally you get the whatever, you suck, we'll see you next year, blah, 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 we'll beat you in the playoffs. But the Ravens fan at the game, I don't know if Key witnessed the same thing, but they talked their little stuff, whatever. At the end of the game, though, you know what the Ravens fans said at the game? Good game, bro. Just please beat the Chiefs for us. Much respect. And also, I got to shout out Lamar Jackson. Y'all see what he did at the airport?
No.
Bro, you just come in. You came in the city.
Mm-hmm.
You lost.
Mm-hmm.
You could tell you're pissed off about it.
Mm-hmm.
My man still had the gumption. People were waiting at the gate. He went to the gate. He signed autographs.
Here?
He took pictures. He did all that. I gotta give him credit for
Respect.
that. Man. Much respect. Much respect. And I felt like this game and the whole experience made me now I like Lamar even more.
Well, it's easy to like somebody after you beat them. So no, but you know what though? And it's not the first time I've heard that. You know, fans at the stadium being respectful after, because I mean, when we beat the Chiefs fans were like, yeah, you guys usually beat us in the regular season anyway. You know what I mean? And some of them kind of slide it in there. You know, we'll see you guys in the playoffs.
We'll see the Super Bowl
okay,
playoffs
fine.
the count. Yep.
But you know why they won't be disrespectful? Because they in our house, and especially with the Ravens fans, ain't nobody finna be disrespectful in -3 weather. Ain't nobody trying to get their butt whooped in Buffalo land in -3 weather. That ain't happening. No, I'm kidding. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
Right.
The only fans that I know that were like they don't care who wanted to smoke even after the loss. Steelers fans. Who else? Some of the Cowboy fans, not all of them, but some of the Cowboys fans. But them Steelers fans, they wanted all the smoke. They ain't care. And Dolphins fans, man, like.
The Dolphins would be Dolphin. They be Dolphining.
New England fans, like these just divisional because they just hate the Bills because it's the division, which is I get it or it's just respected, like it's the division, but yeah.
I mean, I noticed. I'll take it a step further. What you said, you know, it wasn't just the end of the game, but I don't know if you noticed, we got there hella early.
Yeah.
Because last time we were so shocked with the last time experience totally the whole time.
Okay.
So we got there. You know, I was watching Dexter like at 3. What was it? About 3 o'clock. Mel texts me, "You want to leave at 4?" I'm like. I wasn't even dressed. I was eating. I was chilling. I'm going to explain it to him leaving a half an hour early, and I told her I was leaving. And, you know, but we got down there. It was about an hour and 2 on the clock when we got to our seats. Yeah. And, I mean, it was mad ish talk over here. Mad, you know, Raven, because we're on the Raven side. So, but the thing is, even before the game started, right before the kickoff, right before they came out, they turned around like, yo, at least we can agree on one of us just go beat the Chiefs.
Yep.
It wasn't even the end of the game. It wasn't even like, you know, it's at the end of the game, they say, yeah, you guys beat the Chiefs. But it's like, whoever wins, let's just agree to go beat the Chiefs. Yep. It was like unified just for a moment.
It was a mutual understanding.
It was. It was like a mutual hatred.
So
Tired
real
of frog,
quick,
man.
real quick, Thomas Staples says, what's good with the PPP merge? Listen, the site is up. I did switch out the link now, so it is clickable. You can go in the description of this video, click the link. It'll take you right to our page. You can order right from there. Apologies before I wasn't aware that the link wasn't clickable, but it is now. So definitely go check us out there. Listen,
Steve, I think Cyborg will be here at some point, so just hold tight.
You think so? Because
Yeah,
he showing up didn't show up in the post game.
Oh, Cyborg?
Aaron should be here.
Yeah,
No, listen, Aaron might show up.
Aaron
might
should
show
be
up.
here. And that's all respect due to Aaron. Aaron held his own the whole time.
Yeah, but I'm still trying to figure out, and maybe he can clarify this today. He did say, thank you, Thomas. He said, cool, I need the hoodie. So he this would have been, I don't know, this would have been like five minutes left in the fourth quarter or something like that. He sent a comment to the channel. He said, good game, let me see if I can find it. But it was something to the effect of, good game. It's been a tight game all game long. Y'all played well, good game.
Mm-hmm.
And when he said that, I'm like, good game. I'm like, we won. So I'm like, maybe I'm on a time delay or something like that, and we got an interception or a turnover or something like that while they was driving. The Ravens, I mean. And so I fast forward a little bit, and I actually, had about like a good, 60 to 90 seconds that I could fast forward, and still nothing. So then I started thinking, I'm like, why would he send me this? And Ravens ain't even scored yet.
He was conceding.
Huh?
Might have been conceding.
No, I don't even. Well, again, this is what I need to be cleared up for me, because I'm not sure if that was, good game, we about to beat y'all, or good game, like really truly good game.
I mean, either way,
he has been one of the more respectful Ravens fans.
That's what I'm saying. Either way it go, even if you say good game and we beat you, it means you guys play better than I expected. It means you guys are, I thought we was going to trounce y'all.
I just know I've said this before, like, early, like, hey, good game, my man. This one is already over. This is in the bag.
That's because you're a cheekhead.
I said, like I told you, I can talk that
that's
junk,
why.
man.
No,
I said quick. All right, so I got a bunch of stuff that we can tap on. Is there anything about this game for you guys that really stuck out that you want to get to first, though?
I'll say this. After the game, and people like, man, like, to me, like, you can't blame Lamar Jackson for this game. You can't blame him for this game. And one thing that I want Ravens fans to know is, because, like, the reason why I said what I said last game, like, hey, listen, it's 50-50, like, either one's could win. Like, y'all, like, the fact that y'all, the fans that thought that they were just gonna come in here and steamroll the Bills, like, that's not how the playoffs operate. Mm-hmm. And what I'm saying is, I've been a Bills fan since I was 5, but since the Josh Allen era, just the Josh Allen era, outside of his first year, we've been to the playoffs every year. So we know what it feels like. We know what it feels like to sneak into the wild card and then go home. We know what it feels like to go to round 2 and then go home. Mm-hmm. We know what it feels like. Like, we've been to every pinnacle in the playoffs except winning in the AFC Championship.
Right.
So one thing that I've learned is experience. Like, it's a different ball game season from playoffs. And I don't think people understand that it's a difference, right? So, like, part of the reason why the Ravens lost is inexperience in the playoffs. Like, when you in the playoffs, like, you got to have – there is a little room for error. Like, you got to be looking at all times covering the ball with 2 hands. You can't do those, like, that BS. You can't do that stuff. It'll fly in this regular season, but in the playoffs, none of that flies, because these teams are locked in, right? And the second thing is, if you're thinking about a blowout in the playoffs, the only time that I can really say that's possible is the wild card. Mm-hmm. After that, you're not going to see too many blowouts. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you right now, you're not going to see too many blowouts. You might see a game go back and forth, but as far as getting blown out, that's really going to happen once you hit that divisional and championship round.
Unless you're the Commanders.
well,
even theirs was still they won by most scores, but it was
towards the end.
They were battling though.
Yeah, what was the final? Was that the 45 to 30?
45 to 31.
Yeah, 45-31. So you know what I'm saying? They were battling, but don't think that this is over, because, like, just a quick stat: Peyton Manning, John Elway, Dan Marino, Jim Kelly, all these quarterbacks are Hall of Fame quarterbacks. They're great quarterbacks, right? But the problem is when they started their careers didn't always function the way they wanted to, right? Even though they were really, really good, their careers didn't always equal that.
Mm-hmm.
Case in point, we talk about John Elway. His first 3 Super Bowls were in the 80s. He lost every single last one of them. He didn't get back again to the 90s, a whole 10 years later.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, yes, I know it sucks. Y'all wanted to win and y'all wanted to go far, but, like, don't give up on your quarterback. Don't give up on your team. Like, it's a process, and it takes time. It takes time. I think eventually they will get there, but y'all gotta go through the bumps that, like, we went through. Like, that's what I'm saying. Speaking from a Bills fans, I've been there. I've been there where we were right there winning the game. Like, Steph Diggs, he dropped it just like Andrews did, right? We don't know the outcome, like, what would have happened if they would have caught it. Maybe they would have won. Maybe they still lose. But still, like, I know what it feels like to have that disappointment because I've been through it as a Bills fan, even with Josh. Mm-hmm. Like, we've been through it. But, like I said, it takes practice, and you got to keep on doing it. Like, it's not just – the playoffs is a different animal, man. It's just – what it is. It's a different animal.
Mm-hmm. So, I like your point. I like your point. The only thing that I would say about the Ravens that came to my mind was Lamar Jackson's now 3-5 in the playoffs, which means they've played 8 games. Mm-hmm. Josh Allen is now 6-5, which means they've only played 3 more games in the playoffs than Lamar has. Mm-hmm. So, to some degree, yes, we had more experience than them. But in terms of accomplishments, Lamar last year was in the AFC Championship game. Mm-hmm. So the other side of this, I think, really comes down to, honestly, Lamar. Like, I've heard a lot of people say the same point you said today in terms of, this is not Lamar's fault. I would lean towards it's not all on Lamar, mm-hmm. right? Because he did play a lot better in the second half. We got to be honest about that. He played his arse off in the second half, right? But there are caveats and contexts to each situation. So if you take into consideration, they were down 21-10 at the half, and that's because of 2 turnovers alone by Lamar Jackson, mm-hmm. right? So here's a stat that I found today, or heard today rather. Lamar Jackson only threw 8-9 interceptions in the regular season?
No, 6. Yeah.
6?
No, my bad. 4.
4. He threw 4 interceptions in the regular season. Yeah. In the regular season, Lamar Jackson is you cannot get a turnover out of him. In the playoffs, mm-hmm. it's 50-50 with the dude.
Yeah.
He's 50% in terms of the times that he's going to turn the ball over.
Yeah, it's actually 13-11. He has 13 touchdowns versus 11 turnovers,
which is crazy.
And that's just the playoffs,
right? So I again, this is a team that now this year has taken a step back from where they were after they stormed the league last year, and they had an all-pro, all-star, Pro Bowl, Hall of Fame running back that they added to the team. Yeah. Now, here's the part where I don't want to hear nothing from Ravens fans. One of the first things that they will go and say is, well, we didn't have Zay Flowers. Okay. Listen, nobody cares about that. Nobody cared when Mahomes hurt his ankle and went and still won a Super Bowl against the Eagles. You know what I'm saying? So injuries are not a justification. In fact, I would contend for any Ravens fan that's sitting here saying, well, we didn't have our best players on the field and players got hurt in the game and all that stuff, y'all was still a catch away from tying the game. Mm-hmm. So there really is no excuse in this game in terms of talent and all that stuff. Y'all was talking all this week about how the weather ain't gonna be an issue. We gonna pound y'all into the ground. Look, part of the reason Lamar makes those mistakes in the first half is because the game ain't going how he expected it to go. Mm-hmm. As a quarterback, you need to have something foundational to lean on. And I think for Josh Allen in the playoffs, it's always been he can always fall back on his ability to make a play. For Lamar, because he was forced to do it early on and he faced so much criticism for it. Oh, he's not a passer. He's not a pocket quarterback. He can't play from the pocket. All we got to do is force him to be a quarterback and we'll win. That's what they were saying about him. And of course that's going to piss Lamar off. But there's also another side to that where now Lamar is in the mindset of, in order for me to prove people wrong, I can't just fall back on that. Mm-hmm. So now he's going into the playoffs at a deficit because he can't lean on what he's comfortable with. Otherwise, he'll get criticized. So, psychologically, I do think that plays a big part in what we see in Lamar in the playoffs because realistically, Lamar and Josh are not that far apart in terms of how great they are as players. Like Josh has got more stats over his career. That there's no arguing that. But in terms of how teams play them and how defenses fear them and all that kind of stuff, it's the same. Mm-hmm. So for me, I think playoff Lamar, it's more psychological than anything else. And that's why while I don't want to put all the blame on him because he had players that turned the ball over. Mark Andrews in particular was the guy in that game that was not only getting open for plays, but not catching balls, dropping balls, all of that. So, I think we at least have to lay some of the blame at Lamar. I just don't want to be the one that says, well, we don't blame Lamar at all. And look, for anybody that wants to go the other route and say it's all on Lamar, I disagree with that too. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't. There's no way you can justify that. No way.
Right. And then too, like that's the thing. Like we all know this. We said it before the game. We said it before they even go to the playoffs. That's the only thing that he needs to correct. He's money in the season. Yeah. He just doesn't bring that same mentality, and he don't play the same when he gets in the playoffs. Right? He went 18 games. He threw 4 picks in 18 games. Right? But like I said, the playoffs, 13 and 11. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, like he has to get better, but I think that it's coming. And fans just got to be patient. Like it's not gonna happen overnight. Like you have to wait for him to get better in there. But because like I said, we went through it with Josh. Josh ain't just scrolling the playoffs like, oh yeah, we lost in the first round.
Yeah. So really quick, they played Mr. Brightside last night.
Sure did.
And they just happened to play it on the radio today, and I heard some of the lyrics, and I'm like, huh? Mm-hmm. So I went and pulled up the lyrics, and do y'all know the lyrics? Oh, yeah. Okay.
No, I'm not confirming. I know lyrics. I saw them on the board. I am never going to commit Mr. Brightside lyrics to memory. It's never going to happen.
Okay, that's fine. I just want to go through these lyrics real quick because I'm trying to get all the light stuff out of the way because Thomas is saying no, get on the Ravens fans. I'm about to. We getting there. I promise you we getting there, and we got to get all the respect and all the admiration stuff out of the way so we can hammer these boys. But real quick, the lyrics of this song. So I've always been of the mindset that whatever I'm singing, whatever I'm listening to, it's got to have a purpose. And it's got to be something that is in line with my direction or in line with the moment or in line, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like just
basically what you're saying, it don't belong at the game.
That's basically what I'm saying.
Yes.
Like, to me, I get that this has been a movement. Sweat said, I hate that song. I think I'm at the point now where I don't like can we just find another song to do together?
Why is it that now? Why is it now? I've been saying this all year long. And it's funny because yesterday I turned them up because I don't know, well, they obviously don't show up, but this is the first time I noticed that they start this thing off with Dalton Kincaid talking to somebody saying, can we get the Killers? And you mean Mr. Brightside? And then they start playing the song. I'm like, that's how it started? I was like, that's how it started?
Of course.
So now I got to listen to the song every time I go to the stadium.
No, I'm not a fan of that because here's what everybody's singing. Coming out of my cage, and I've been doing just fine. Gotta be down because I want it all. It started out with a kiss. How did it end up like this? It was only a kiss. It was only a kiss. Now, okay, fine. There's an artistic value to that, right? Kind of painting a picture a little bit. I get that. Coming out of my cage, all that stuff. It's cute. Okay, fine. But then we get into, now I'm falling asleep and she's calling the cab while he's having a smoke and she's taking a drag. Now they're going to bed and my stomach is sick. And that's all in my head, but she's touching his, and then the pre-chorus is chest now. He takes off her dress now. Let me go, and I just can't look. It's killing me. They're taking control. What the hell are we talking about right now?
Mr. Brightside.
Like, seriously, this went from I'm coming out of my cage. I got to be down because I want it all. Like, that stuff, respective to the Bills, makes sense. Right? Bills coming out of their cage, they want it all. Fine, that fits. Okay, cool. But now you're talking about this girl that you've been kissing just called a cab, and she's with some other dude now and sharing a cigarette with the guy, and he's taking her dress off, and now so then it turns into jealousy, turning saints into the sea, swimming through sick lullabies, choking on your alibi. But it's just the price I pay. Destiny is calling me. Open up my eager eyes because I'm Mr. Brightside. So basically, this dude is her side piece. Or wants to be.
Well,
I think because he didn't do what he was supposed to do, she wound up going with another guy.
Yes.
The guy took the opportunity that presented himself. He took it and he didn't.
Yeah, like
okay.
he met her.
Okay.
I'll just say you went to Chippewa.
So-
The chip strip. You met him at La Luna's, and you took your time. You got a kid, thought you was in there. She was like, you were square.
Right.
I'm going in the cab. The cab was like that. And
Anybody
took my girl.
with virgin ears, cover your ears. So basically, this dude is a cuck. Like, that's basically in a sense. Like this, but again, this is baffling to me. How this has now become the banner song for the Buffalo Bills every game. It doesn't make sense. And again, I understand where we are. I understand that, we just won a game, and this episode is going to be filled with a few things that are real, and a few things you may not want to hear, but it's also going to be filled with a lot of good stuff, a lot of pounding the table over this win that we just got over this team that thought we sucked, and they just learned something. So forgive me for trying to keep it real on this, but I think the Buffalo Bills need to find a new song to sing to, because I will never abide by this.
Why would you sing it? I mean,
right?
They go ham. I let them. Whatever. I say let them have it. I just can't. I can't stand the mood of the song. When it comes on, it brings the mood down. Not because it's depressing, but it's just not a pump up song.
Exactly.
So it don't get you moving. Like if the beat don't get you moving, like come on with a heavy guitar intro. And I'm like, I'm about to go to sleep. What's happening? You trying to put me a lullaby?
Right.
So for that and that alone, before I even go to the words, I'm like, I can't get with this because I need some pump. I need something that's gonna make me, a little adrenaline. But before we go any further, I just wanted to acknowledge one thing.
Yeah.
The reason for the day, MLK. This is MLK Day.
Okay. Yes.
Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. born on January 15th, 1929 in Atlanta, Georgia. Went on to glory April 4th, 1968 at the age of 39. Obviously, his life ended that day, but his legacy lives on. I did not know this, but he was born Michael King Jr. and not Martin Luther. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, his most famous speech is at the Civil Rights Movement, Let the Freedom Ring.
Do we know why he changed it?
His dad was Michael. His dad changed too. So yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So he was born. I'm not sure why he changed it to Martin Luther's dad was the same. So I just wanted to take a quick moment to acknowledge the reason for the day, especially in the climate that we've been in the last couple of years, especially. The divide needs to narrow. Need to come together, guys.
Yeah. Noreen, I agree with you. Welcome to the show, by the way. I don't believe I've seen you in here before. She says, I think they just like the tune. Yeah. Listen, the music is catchy. I actually like the music. The music is great, but I guess for me that's the frustrating part about music is most people nowadays, and you know this, you a DJ, they don't even really listen to the lyrics all like that. As long as it got a good beat, they down with it. So
Nathan said, "Keep reading lyrics. There's more to it."
Oh, See, now I got to go back and
Maybe
look it
not
up.
on the show, just in your personal.
Yeah.
What was it called? USSR or USR? Remember sustained silent reading back in grade school? USR. You didn't have that? Yes, you did. You went to Buffalo Public just like I did. You did too.
Well, I didn't. Nah, I wasn't in no school number. Like the only school number I was in was 54.
Close, good enough.
But that was like first, second, and third.
That's when we had it.
First, second grade.
USR. You remember it?
The heck is USR?
Uninterrupted, silent, sustained reading. USSR.
Really?
Yeah. That's when they made everybody sit down with a book in silence and read it. It didn't matter.
No, I never did none of that.
I know you didn't. You rebel, you.
Yeah. Tommy says they could play a 2 Live Crew song. Yeah.
No, they couldn't. It would be all bleeped out.
Right. That's probably why they don't do it.
Right.
Roy says, whatever happened to singer-songwriters like Jim Croce? Croce. Okay. All right. They aren't allowed anymore. They aren't allowed anymore. There's if you really study it out, there's an agenda, and
It's true.
You're right. This is not tinfoil hat stuff. There's an agenda with music now, and if you notice, there's really no more guys singing anymore. It's all females on the radio singing about love, love that didn't work, heartbreak, and all. Like this is all. There's an agenda to it, right? I don't even want to really get that deep into it. But
I mean, that's true, but I also will say there's a lot of unknown subsects like neo soul and stuff like that where people don't know about. Where they house Anthony Hamilton and K. Johns and people like that because it doesn't fit the popular agenda.
Yeah, like my man Leon Thomas.
Yeah. Yep. But you just kind of got to go
you
out
gotta
there
find
and
them.
you got to go into deep waters and latch onto somebody.
Right, and it's hard because there's so much nonsense out there that to actually find it, like you got to spend so much time just listening to stuff, and for me, I just got tired of it. I was just like, I'm just part of it was because I did music, you know what I mean. So I always tried to write songs that were conducive to building something up or fixing an issue or something like that, But that's not the kind of stuff they want on the radio.
Not gonna sell. Yeah.
Right. So. I'm big on neo soul, Nathan. I actually like neo soul a lot. Music Soul Child is one of my favorite artists. India Arie, some of the who else? You could even say Lauryn Hill was some early neo soul.
She was neo soul. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Legacy, all those cool.
Yep.
FH, thank you. I'm gonna look into that. I've heard that his father changed their name to Martin Luther after the German priest. You can research more. I was thinking about that. The Lutheran Church. So I was thinking that might be it because they kept the same last name. But I'm gonna have to take a look at that because it had to be after him somewhere. Had to be.
If you think about it too, with Martin Luther King, like he wasn't the only civil rights leader at that time, but because one, he was Christian, and two, his whole thing was nonviolent. He actually got backed by the government. Like that's why he has a day. Nobody else has a day, but he has a day because they made him the front runner of civil rights. One, like I said, he was Christian. Two, he was nonviolent.
Yep,
that's somebody they wanted to center people around. Like, hey, if you're gonna listen to somebody, listen to him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he had a lot of backing from the government and the politics also.
Right. So quick announcement. People should have heard about this by now. Ben Johnson's going to the Bears.
He was in my stuff we heard.
Yeah. So
and I think that's a good spot, man.
100%.
That's a good spot.
It's a great spot for him. Joe Brady's actually in the running for the Jaguars job.
I don't think he takes it.
You don't think so?
No. They need a lot of help.
Where are they picking? They got a lot of cap space though.
They got a lot of money. Yeah.
They got a lot of cap space, so he can go out and buy whatever he wants. I'm kind of bouncing around now, but so let's start with this because I'm sure this will get the conversation going. So in terms of how the Bills used a Jedi-Mind-Trick to beat the Ravens, the Buffalo Bills achieved a level of the Force, so to speak. And I don't watch Star Wars. I'm not a Star Wars fan. Star Trek all day long. But
bro, you about to lose like 50 subscribers. Dog.
A little long and prosper, baby. So all right, I do think the Bills have reached a new level of the Force where they are now beginning to play like the New England Patriots in the playoffs. And I think this game really showed it, because when you look at what the Bills really did in the game, the singular most important thing that the Bills did was they just didn't beat themselves. Mm-hmm. And that's something that in the playoffs, in the regular season against good teams, that's almost always been the issue with this team, even through the drought. That anytime they played well, it was always that one thing that they beat themselves with that took them out of the game. And in this particular game, especially in the first half, they were aggressive with what they wanted to take away. They attacked Derrick Henry. They didn't allow him to attack them. And then after that, it was just play efficient. Like, this is the efficiency level they were on, right? Now, I'm not a fan of this, and we'll get to that later on in the show. But Josh Allen only completed. I'm sorry, he threw like 20 to 22 passes, 22 passes.
Yep.
13 of them bad boys was behind the line of scrimmage.
He had one completion. He had one completion over 10 yards.
Right.
One completion over 10 yards.
So, which is ridiculous to me, by the way. But again, we'll get to that. But the point being, this was an extremely efficient game. It was ugly for the Bills in the second half. But at the end of the day, who got the dub? You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the one thing when we look at the Patriots dynasty, it's always been, they've had 1 year where they were good and flashy. One. That's it. Other than that, they had no number one wide receiver. We always put it on Wes Welker or Julian Edelman or Rob Gronkowski because those were the best guys they had, right? But they were known for being efficient in all levels of the game. And that's exactly what the Bills did yesterday. The Ravens came into this game expecting to be high-flying, pushing everybody around and slamming the quarterback to the ground and stomping over everybody and just creating such a ruckus and being loud and big and boisterous. And the Bills is like, all right, come on, young bull. Let's go down the hill. Ravens was like, let's run down there and get them all. Mm-hmm. Bills was like, nah. I'm sorry. Wrong. I was wrong. Ravens was like, let's run down there and get one. The Bills is like, let's walk down and get them all. Mm-hmm. You feel me? That's the science behind the way the Bills played this game. And I think when you look at the regular season, yeah, we scored 30. Yeah, we won big over some teams and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, so much of what we did this season, so much of what changed Josh Allen's game and elevated him to this level now is just playing more efficient football. And when you got a guy that is as efficient as a Tom Brady, but can make plays like a Josh Allen, that's even more of a unicorn. Like, Josh was a unicorn before size, strength, speed, arm strength, all that stuff. But now you add to that the level of Tom Brady wherewithal in the playoffs, Tom Brady efficiency in the playoffs, where he's just not going to lose it for his team. He'll take what you give him and keep it moving, right? If they got to go down and score, then he'll make it happen. He did it in the first half, right? But this is a level of playoff football that reaches the level of Super Bowl caliber football. It's boring. It's not flashy. It's not even exciting at times, but it wins games.
Well, it depends on what you're looking at, because I'm a defensive guy. I got a lot of excitement out of this game. You know, I was very excited because, like, if you look at the broadcast, Tony Romo said this is actually, he actually said it, and I agree. This is actually one of the most aggressive games McDermott's ever called in his career, which is true. You know, they didn't fall into the cocoon. They had DeMar Hamlin coming up blitz, and they had Matt Milano spying. They went with Dorian Wentz 50% of the game, almost 49% of the game. You know, on the other side, the Ravens, they didn't care about Josh Allen. They were like, he's just a man. And we saw Adafe Owe coming in. We saw Madubuike going in and holding for it in the middle. We saw the running backs on both sides having a hell of a time trying to get anything going. We saw, two quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson, 73% completion percentage, Josh Allen, 72% completion percentage. Statistically, I'm stumbling over everything I'm saying today. Lamar had the better day, but, at the end of like you said in the beginning of the show, it came down to Mark Andrews. It came down to one, I think it wasn't that it was cold, because it really wasn't that cold. It wasn't where you wanted it to be, but that 2 degrees and negative that they were talking about just wasn't there. I don't know, Mac, you can correct. It was down there, but we were like, was a Niners game worse, or we don't know.
Right.
So I think the first interception, especially, for Lamar, was the fact that he underestimated the fact you can't run on frozen ground like you can on grass, because that pass would have been a completion. Well, it would have been a better looking pass had he understood the dynamics of what the frost on the ground can do. But I was looking at his what he did after he threw the interception. He came to the sideline and he went to everybody, every individual. My bad. I thought he was doing this. He didn't. It's my bad. I should have saw it better. He went to everybody, and I was like, okay, cool. But more so than that, I really enjoyed the fact that the Bills showed us a defense that we've never seen. Rasul Douglas was the only. People say DeMar Hamlin. No, Rasul Douglas was the only player on that defense that just did not belong. You're talking about, you had Jordan Phillips out there, you had Austin Johnson playing a lot, you had Ed Oliver playing a lot, you had Brian Miller out there picking up, scooping dang near scores if he was 30 and not 35. Yeah. It was just exciting, the fact that the guys that everybody thought couldn't do it were doing it. Everybody thought that, Christian Benford out there holding fort. Now, when I will say, to your point we were talking about in the car ride home, the Zay Flowers point, I do agree it would have been a different game. I'm not saying we would have lost, not because he's better than Bateman, but because he's better than Aguilar, and he's better than Gibson.
100%.
He's better than So just by the fact that he's on the field being a 1,000-yard receiver, I think that would have put a little bit more of a doubt into some of the cornerbacks. Because you see Aguilar, I didn't know he was like 30, 32 or whatever he is. He's in his 10th year.
Yeah, he's up there.
10 years of doing nothing. Benford's like, okay, cool. I got this. It's just a sense of security, that we had. And I think we were all around the better team yesterday. Quarterbacks, at the very least, canceled each other out. But, you figure the run game, the pass game, we had it. If you look at the stats, both teams were exactly even at yards after catch at 79. Yeah. Exactly even. They had 3 drops. We had 1. They had 1 interception and like 4 fumbles. It really is 3 fumbles, 2 fumbles, 3 fumbles, 3 fumbles, 1 loss, 1 they retained. So I think on the defensive side, if you went to look at the offense, yeah, you had a tough time. You had a real tough time. But I went there. If you remember my philosophies from last show about what we need to do to win a game, I went there and said, everything I had was on defense. Dorian Williams has to play. They got to be aggressive. They got to be physical. They got to be able to man against the 12 fronts, the 21s that we don't see often. They brought in an extra offensive lineman in Cleveland to be 7 men on 7 300-pounders on top of Derrick Henry, and we still held for it. So we give it 5.8 yards a game, but yards a carry. But like I said last show, even if we wouldn't have had the 87-yarder, we would have given it 4.8 a carry. Mm-hmm. We can win off of that. Mm-hmm. We won when they ran 5.9 a carry.
Right. Real quick, the idea that this game came down to turnovers, I think people have skipped over that big time. You cannot get past turnovers and automatically get to, well, Lamar Jackson did this in the second half. And I listened to Shady earlier today talk about, well, it's not how you start the game, but it's how you finish. Yeah, but every story has a beginning too. And usually in the NFL and in the playoffs, if you start the game terrible and you set yourself back far, it's not a storybook ending. Yeah, you can play different or better in the second half, but if all you're trying to do in the second half is overcome the mistakes you made in the first half, you're still ending up even by the time you get to the end of the game. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it's more of a you didn't do good, you just fixed the bad. You know what I'm saying? And usually that ends up in a loss like we saw last night. Look, in terms of what I would have liked to see from the Buffalo Bills coming out of the second half, and I got into it. It wasn't a heated debate or nothing like that, but I was just trying to understand. So I called my pop. I was talking to Damaris, and I said I don't understand why the Bills didn't come out playing the same way they did in the first half, right? And my mindset was this, and I want to see what you guys think. My mindset was, you already know that the first thing that the Ravens are going to try to do is take away your run game the way they did in week 4. Because that's what they feel they need to shut down. They already felt coming into this game like they could shut Josh Allen down. They felt like they could keep him in the pocket and get rid of his weapons and not allow him to make plays. They felt like that. So when you disrupted their flow and you started running the ball on them and not allowing them to run the ball on you, you should have known the first thing they were going to do when they came out was stop your run. So at that point, there's two trains of thought, or there's two timelines with which we could have been on. The first timeline could have been, well, maybe the Buffalo Bills planned on throwing the ball early in this game, but because they saw they could run the ball, they started to do that. The other line of thought was the Bills came into the game planning on running the ball because they had found something that they felt they could exploit and decided to do that. In either of those circumstances, though, in either of those timelines, after the half, you still have to arrive at a point where you say to yourself, okay, we got an 11-point lead right now. We need to get a 17-point lead by any means necessary. So if we know that they're going to come out and they're going to try to shut down the run, then we need to pass the ball. We need to have some things ready, right? That brings me to this particular point, and I want to see what you guys think about this, because it bothered me a little bit, especially after I heard about what the guy in Washington did. Joe Brady taking interviews this week. Cliff Kingsbury in Washington said he's not taking no interviews until the playoffs are done. If a team really wants you, they'll wait. If you're really a candidate, they'll wait. But if you're Joe Brady, and I'm not saying specifically this is his train of thought, but it looks like you really want an opportunity to get out of here and become a head coach so that you can get yours. So you're taking these interviews, right? As someone rooting for a team, I don't want you taking time away from the game plan. So all of this is connected to me, because when I think about, and I might be reaching in some way, shape, or form, but I don't think there's no connection at all. I think there's some form of connection between Joe Brady taking these interviews, because he took 2 this past week, and the Bills not having an answer in the second half. One of the things that Damaris said to me was, it's not necessarily a matter of them not having an answer. It could possibly be the head coach just didn't feel like they needed to do anything risky to score any more points. They had the lead. They were comfortable forcing the Ravens to prove that they could score. So let me ask y'all this. In the second half, what point did y'all get to where y'all said the Bills need to score again? They need to score a touchdown, or the Ravens might come back?
I don't think I ever had that thought.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think I ever had that thought. Because I said to Mac yesterday, we were actually, it was funny because we were debating the field goal at the end. Yeah. And, it wasn't an argument. We were just talking, and Mel was like, we got to go for it. I said, no, you got to kick the 3. He said, why? I said, because you kick the 3, you force them to go for the extra 2 as opposed to tie it at the end. I said, so this is getting to your point. When he made that decision to kick the field goal, it was with the thought in mind that neither offense was doing much this whole game. So he was like, I'll kick this 3 and force them to do something they haven't done all day and march right down the field and score. While they did that, and they should have had the extra point or the 2-point conversion, it wasn't likely, especially in his mind, in his analytical brain. It wasn't likely it was going to happen. So when I saw the way the game was going, I kept saying, this is a turnover away. This could be bust open by a field goal.
Mm-hmm.
So I never really said – I was comfortable enough in that game where I never thought that the Bills had to score a touchdown. I felt like we were going to match whatever they did. So, Lamar came out, and I thought he was unstoppable almost. Josh is unstoppable almost.
Yeah.
Well, no. The Bills' offense was unstoppable. The Bills' defense was stopping pretty much everything. It was a clash of one side of the field, and I thought to myself that we have this if we don't cause a turnover, if we don't force a turnover on our side. So I was never like worried about it. I never got scared.
So even like fourth quarter when they're driving to score that last touchdown, like you still really?
Yep.
Wow. Good for you, man. Seriously, good for you, Mac. What you think?
So for me, it was that field goal that Keyshawn said about, because I'm like, all right, at this point, we're driving down the field, we're running the clock out, like we're right there in the red zone, like just like we get that touchdown, game over,
right?
It's over, right? But I thought about what Key said, because I was like, man, you got to go for the touchdown, and I thought about it. I'm like, okay, if you kick the field goal, now we're only up by 8.
Mm-hmm.
They can go down, get 2 points early, now we're in overtime. I mean, what now that they can tie it. But here's the other train of thought. Let's say you go for it and they stop you. Now we lose.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that was the only point where I thought that we needed to get a touchdown.
Right. But
I understand Key's reasoning, and when it plays back, I'm like, oh man, maybe it's a good idea. We kicked that field goal. But to your point about Joe Brady, to me, and this is just me, I'm thinking he's getting the interviews out of the way so he can focus on the Bills. You know what I'm saying? You want to talk to me? All right, boom. I'll go see what he hollering at. But you know what I'm saying? Because both ways is kind of the same. Like you said, either all right, wait, I'm gonna wait on that. Let me concentrate on the game first, and then after, then I'll do it. But here's where I think you lose something at. Once everything over, they can say, oh well, you lost, or you know what I'm saying? They can see, oh well, you failed here, you failed here. Right now, they want me because I'm hot, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not going to give them an opportunity for them to determine my future based on the games that I play. So I'm going to get it out right now because right now you want me. But who's to say after we lost you might not want me no more?
Yeah, I'll take it a step further. You look at what just happened with the Bears. The Lions lost yesterday. The Bills are still going. Mm-hmm. What if those are the final two? And Joe Brady said, I'm not going to take an interview until it's over with. He ain't getting that job because the other hot name lost.
Right.
And now I'm available, and I'm not available, and he is. It sucks. I really wanted that job. Right. But, I mean, what we look at yesterday was inclement conditions. The game plan was going to be hampered by the weather anyway. They were expecting subpolar conditions. They were expecting everything to be frozen, snow falling. So there was only so much they were going to install. They really wanted to go run heavy. So if this was a bright, sunny day and something we never saw before with these guys, it's like, okay, yeah, he shouldn't be taking interviews because he wasn't prepared. Right. When they showed him in the booth and they showed everything with him, he looked like he was dialed in. It was just the fact that it wasn't what we thought they should be doing or what they would be doing. I thought, Josh on 300 yards, Lamar Jackson 290 and 70 yards rushing. Neither side did that. Yep. So, like, at first I was disappointed by the outcome of the game. I'm like, man, that's not what I thought was going to happen. We saw Lamar do some slippery stuff. We saw him scrambling. We saw him doing wild stuff. But at the same time, I'm like, that's not what I thought was going to occur. But then you go back and look at the grand scheme of the game plan on both sides. It was a mutual respect. It was a ballet. It was a back and forth kind of deal, and I could appreciate it on the watch back.
Okay, so let me get through these comments and then I'll comment on that. So Cato says Tony Romo was correct. 2nd and goal, you in shotgun. That's definitely in line with what Kev said. The problem was the play calling. Josh should have been Josh pushing all 3 downs. Cato says we didn't have to be in that situation. Yeah, I mean, so Mafia says, Tommy says, for me, the plan in the second half was not to lose the game instead of coaching to win the game, which you can't do in the playoffs. See, that's I'll put it like this, and this is what I said earlier when I was talking to Damaris. I think for me, And a lot of what he was saying was in line with what you're saying, Key. Like, you didn't need to take the chances. You had to lead. Unless they put you in a position where you were trailing, you just stay status quo, which I get it. That is exactly the way Sean thought and the way the game ended up being called. But we've been in so many situations with Sean where because he's thought that way, we've lost games. And I think this was the first game that it actually worked because everybody on the team played efficient, played almost a perfect game, and Josh had no turn. Like, nobody had any big mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Except for maybe the 40-yard run by or I'm sorry, not the 40-yard, the 20-something yard run by Henry.
Who made the stop? Yes. Oh, mushroom head. No, not number 9.
Yeah.
9 divided by 3.
Okay, fine. I'll give you that. But,
Oh, okay, let me ask this question. I
Okay.
don't want to derail you. But maybe I do a little bit. How confused were you when you saw number 3 come out the tunnel with the mushroom top on? Me and Matt, Matt was like,
What do you say?
why he wearing the mushroom top?
oh, no, I knew. He
Why?
because I plan on going at Derrick Henry's knees, and I don't want my head being bust open like Taylor Rapp got in week 4.
So we had 2 toadstool safeties back there?
Yes.
That is excellent.
They
Toadstool
both,
safety.
right, they was both ready. They was both ready to go save the princess. They was both ready. Yeah, man. So look, when I'm thinking about the losses that we've had and what we should have done in those games, I'm thinking about this game last night like a fight. If I got a guy on the ropes, I'm not gonna be like, all right, let's give him a breather. Let's see if he can land a punch now. No, he might land one good punch and I'm knocked out. Like, why give him the chance to throw a punch in the first place? I don't fight fair. If you get into my personal space, I'm not gonna sneak you. I'm just gonna punch you in the face, and I'm gonna keep going until you stop moving. I'm not gonna knock you. I'm not gonna push you down to the ground and be like, all right, let's see if he gets up. That don't make no sense. Like, in the game of football, in the playoffs, at the highest level possible, you got guys really out here talking about some let's see if they can score. What are we talking about? The people, Sean acts like we not still traumatized from the drought years. Like, none of that stuff matters. He acts like we not still traumatized from 13 seconds. To me, that's the mindset. That's the same mindset that got us killed year after year after year against the same teams. I can't vibe with that, bro. I can't rock with it at all. To me, it's a losing mindset. The fact that the Buffalo Bills played efficiently, great, fine. But you can still do that and score 35, 40 points. You can still do that. Matter of fact, last night, the Bills could have hung 40 on them boys without trying. Think about it. They scored 21 in the first half. Mm-hmm. How hard did that look? It didn't look that hard at all. You score before the half, you come out, you score again, now it's 28-10. You up by 18. What you think the mentality of the Ravens is at that point? They ain't still coming out into this cold weather thinking they gonna get it back. And even if they do score again, you go score again. You show them, we got this all night long. Y'all can keep trading with us, or y'all can take y'all starters out, which I want to do.
Yeah, I mean, I get the sentiment if you're looking at it that way. I don't expect. See, I'm of the mindset you don't owe me nothing. Mm-hmm. So what I say is, we're traumatized. Like you said, the fans are traumatized. But like they say, I really truly believe that they don't think about that anymore. They're not thinking about 13 seconds. They're not thinking about even the Philly game last year or whatever. Yeah, they're thinking about what did we do in the first half, and that was play our game and try to make Lamar make a mistake. And I can tell you from what I saw, Lamar believed they were going to win that game until the very end. Like, nobody on that side, they were smiling, laughing, joking. Not a person over there looked the least bit worried about the game. And, and that plays into the morale. When they're like, when we get on, it's like we were watching the offensive line, they were warming their helmets up, throw that bad boy, and they got to feel ready to go. I mean, they're we saw, who was it, Ezra Cleveland, and I forget the other guy, but they were looking at tablets. I'm like, when they start looking at tablets, trying to figure out block. But what I'm saying is, you're right if the other team was demoralized. But the Ravens were like, yo, 21-10, it's 0-0 as far as I'm concerned. And that's the trap that you don't want to fall in when you're coaching against a team of that caliber. You know, I get what you're saying. I hear it. You know, from a fan standpoint, you're absolutely correct. You know, but I'm looking at it as a fact that, like, I'm trying to do my job on a 1-to-1. This is ground zero. Like, there was nothing before, and there may be nothing after. Mm-hmm. And this is working. You know, it was work. James Cook was busting a couple. Ray Davis busted a couple. You know, Khalil Shakir had the big catch over the middle, but the rest of it was like, you know, we won the time of possession by 3 minutes.
I get that. I get that. But, like, okay, so Nathan says that's on Brady. Said it before. The double dip was wasted. Absolutely 100% right. Doyle Fry, welcome to the show. He says you are wasting. I'm sorry. You are saying it's a losing mindset. Somebody just commented here. Let me scroll back up.
You're saving it. It's a losing mindset,
but the Ravens pushed the ball
and turned it over.
Yep.
The wet cold ball bounced the Bills' way because the Ravens tried to do too much. That's kind of where I'm going with it. Yeah.
Right. And here's well. Let me get to these other two comments real quick too, because Lee says trying to force a score would have lost that game. Man, Ravens were selling out to stop the run. Lynn says you wrong 13 seconds all over my mind. Yeah, still for me too. But here's the point. Here's the point. Josh is not Lamar in the playoffs, right? And we saw it last night. Like, Josh didn't look flustered from what the Ravens were doing. And the other part of this too is if the Bills had a mindset to attack on offense and actually just score, like just play the game and score. Josh has been playing at such a level this season. We wouldn't have gotten no turnovers. It would ball thrown away, Josh running the ball, or the receiver catches the ball. Those were the only three realistic options in that game from what we saw. There were no almost interceptions or nothing like that. The other part of this, too, is they lost Marlon Humphrey in the third quarter or early in the fourth, whichever one it was. They lost a best corner with still enough time for you to just start throwing the ball. Their best corner at that point was Brandon Stevens. Like, who are we talking about right now, bro? Like, that. Look, my conversation with Pop still left me in the place of there's still more you could have done. And I think the only reason this bothers me is because two reasons. A, I've seen this same situation lose us games before. It didn't tonight.
Raise the volume a little more.
Raise the volume a little more?
Yeah, somebody said raise the volume a little more.
Hold on. All right, how's that? Better?
Good. Check. Everybody's eardrum still intact?
Yeah, maybe
right.
Maybe that's what it is. All right. So A is lost my train of thought there.
So I'll comment. So okay. For me, like, to me, it's the point what you said about the fight, where you said I'm not gonna give him an opportunity. I'm the opposite when I'm fighting. If I'm fighting you and I know I could beat you, I'm gonna demoralize you by I'm gonna punch you, I'm gonna let you get up, I'm gonna hit you again, I'm gonna keep beating on you so you know not only you can't beat me, mentally you don't have a win with me. You right. Can't mess with me. I got you. There's nothing you can do about it. So for me, I don't need to me, because I'm not scared of you. You do that when you're scared of somebody because you don't want them to get an opportunity to hit me back. I'm saying hit me all you want to. Guess what? Your hardest hit, not going to touch me. You can't whip a picture of me.
But did the Bills play like that, though?
To me, they did, because guess what? When
really?
Josh went down there, if you look at it again, Josh didn't want to score.
Huh?
Look at that last run he did. Josh held up. He didn't want to score.
I thought he was about to pitch to Cook.
He didn't want to score.
Don't pitch it.
The gap was blown. What do you mean he held up?
Like I said, watch it again, but he didn't want to score. They didn't want to score.
So you're saying because he didn't push through Michael Pierce and all the other big boys that clogged up the gap, he didn't want it?
So put it this way. Look at the run selection. They ran Josh, 3 times? Was it 3 times they ran Josh?
No, they did they run Josh 3 times?
Was it 2 times?
No, the first time was a running back, and the last 2 times were Josh.
It was Cook. But the thing about that, they had the offset eye over here with Khalil Shakir as a fullback. Where's Gilliam? He's a tight end. He can catch the ball. Yeah. Why is he not over there for blocking, for push purposes?
Yeah.
Where is somebody bigger than Khalil Shakir who's not used to being in a 3-point stance?
And then, like you say, you're traumatized from what happened, people over that. Like it had that's last year. It ain't got nothing to do with this year.
Man,
it ain't got nothing to do with the future.
I guarantee
What it
there's
is
still
is
people
what it
that
is
don't
is
No.
what it is trauma.
Yeah.
It's trauma. That's what it is.
And see, that goes
And y'all worried about, what happens gonna happen again.
Mhm.
I don't have that mindset. This is a new team. This is a new year.
So you going into next week thinking we got it in the bag, it's over?
What with KC?
Yeah.
The only thing that worries me about KC is the refs. We could beat KC if it's 1-on-1. I have no issues beating KC because we can beat them. We're better team.
The point is, it's never been 1-on-1. It's
think-
always been the refs.
I think.
Not we played them here.
I think
in the playoff game.
Yeah, it wasn't that was straight up.
How you figure that with the call on Dorian Williams?
What I'm saying is it wasn't an egregious call where it's like, you just won them the game. We lost the game because we missed the field goal.
Bro, Dorian Williams barely touched the dude and they called him for
What
that.
I'm saying, okay, yeah, he missed the call, but that's not what cost us the game. Just like yesterday.
Yes, it is, because that game a first down.
Okay,
Like, they
okay,
scored on
okay,
that
but
drive.
okay.
we won though.
All right.
We won it though. We won that game, so it didn't cost us the game. We won the game. But no, I think to the point.
Wait, what do you mean?
You're talking about this
No,
year's?
we talking about last year.
I'm talking about the playoff game where we
last year.
lost, where
Yeah.
Bass missed the field goal.
You're talking about okay.
Dorian
Dorian
Williams
Williams
gets
catch.
that penalty on
The
him.
pass interference.
And
Yeah.
what
that was ticky
and what
tack.
called drops the catch.
That was ticky tack.
Right.
It could.
But
I
again-
think I argued that could have been a penalty. I did argue that could have been a penalty. It wasn't the worst.
But the point I'm trying to make was, and we don't need to keep arguing this, but the point I'm trying to say is, like, if that was third down, had they not gotten that penalty and gotten a first down from there, we get the ball back. Right, you know what I'm saying? So like for me, it's like, okay, that's a complete shift in momentum because now the defense has to stay out there. The Chiefs ended up scoring on that play.
Okay, what about the
Or
17?
scoring on that drive, I mean.
What about the 13 seconds game? Was the refs in that game too?
That was the case.
If you got to think about it, the answer is no.
That was the case of
bro,
timing.
No, you can't say that.
That was the case of time.
That was 2 years ago.
If it is, you will remember it.
It was
though.
more than 2 years ago.
If it is, you remember it. You remember the play.
Yeah, I don't
You
know.
remember the Dorian Williams
Bro,
play?
that happened last year.
That's what I'm saying.
You're asking me to remember the details of a game that happened 3 years ago.
It's the 13-second games. How do you still remember that? You
I
remember what happened?
I remember the last drive.
I remember the whole
Gabe
game.
Davis going off.
Okay,
I remember
well,
the whole
good for you.
game.
Clap
Yeah,
it
your
up.
brain
That's
is
fine.
crazy.
So I'm just saying. That's what I'm
Bruh.
saying. The
But
refs
no.
wasn't in that game. So
But-
yes, they're not. When we played the Kansas City Chiefs, for the most part of our whole playoff career, it wasn't because of the refs.
And so I can. I'm not gonna say put a bow on it, but I saw people in the comments talking about they're still scared from 13 seconds and stuff like. You're supposed to be. You're supposed to be. You're a fan. You have like when somebody called me out last week talking about, oh, you guys sound scared. I'm not on the field. I don't have to be scared or otherwise. I can't control nothing. So for you to feel like the 13 seconds is trauma, it's fine. It's true, but I don't hold that. I don't have that same mentality. And I'm not saying I'm better than anybody here. I'm just saying that for me, going into this game, the first 5 minutes or so of the game and how they come out, how they look on both sides of the ball will tell me all I need to know about that game. We won the game, in the regular season. We lost last year. We lost all those other years. But those are in the past. This is a new regime here. This is a new task force trying to take out the garbage.
You sure? Because the same manager is in office.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure. But see, the way you react is warranted. I understand it because you're coming from a different place than I am. And I'm not trying to take you. I'm not taking you off your pivot at all. That's not my point. But for me, I'm going towards Sunday, and Sunday's the beginning. And if we walk out of Sunday, we're good. If we walk out of Sunday on the negative side, time to go back to the drawing board.
I'll put it like this. I come from a world where if you show me who you are consistently, I'll believe you. And until you show me different, or like you could scream all day long, I'm not what I showed you. I'm not. Okay, well, look, all I can go off of is what you've shown.
But
right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, for me, it's if you want me to believe something different, show me something different.
To that point, case in point, we should be
have.
talking completely different today than we are.
Yeah.
Because what we've been is perennial divisional round losers.
Yep.
Okay.
And now they're not. Not saying that means anything towards next week, but that's what I'm saying.
What did I say at the beginning of this year? It's not about winning the divisional round.
I know.
It's not about that at all. Like did the Bills win this game in a different way? Yeah, they did. I'm giving them credit for that. But at the same time, I don't think it should be missed, or I don't think it should be dismissed that they left some meat on the bone. And I think like one of the reasons why this show exists is to stop people from getting so caught up in the emotion of, we won, everything's fine, nothing's wrong, and really take a look for a second and analyze the things that could be better, because those are the things in the past that have gotten us killed. Is being so rah and we did it and we fine, we good, we great, and not realizing the stuff we did to win this game might not work next week.
No, it better not. It shouldn't, and I wouldn't expect it to.
Okay,
but the point. Well, hold on, 1 second. The point of my statement is, for people that want to look in revisionist history, if you're talking about I'm the one that said the Super Bowl was bust. Did I not? Did I not say anything less than Super Bowl was a failure?
Yeah.
So I'm the one that said if they got past yesterday, you can't say that this is what they show me, because they never show you they're a divisional round winner. They always lose. T sitting in the house, you know they're gonna lose today, right? I don't know why you're gonna coach. They always lose now, and I'm like, you might be right, but I gotta go see this matchup. But the point is, when you win, it's not emotional. I don't care if Josh threw for 500 yards. I don't care if Josh threw for 96 yards. If they win, they win. That wasn't the best they could do. We know that.
Okay, you know what it is then? And I want this in a different way. The same way you want Josh to be like Lamar and talk that talk and walk that walk and be that leader and poke his chest out, the same way you want that from Josh is the same way I want my team to work in games every single game. We had a blowout beginning in the first half. We go into halftime with people like in shock, like they about to blow these Ravens out. We had it. Like we were on pace to do that. All they had to do was keep making the minor adjustments in game that kept them on pace to keep doing that. But instead of doing that, they chose to just kick back and rest on the lead. And just because it worked this game doesn't mean it's going to work. Like, here's the other part of this. When we saw what the Bills did to the Chiefs and the Lions, what did we say? We sat on the show here and said it. We said that's how they got to play from now on. If they're going to win a Super Bowl, that's how they got to play. We all agreed with that, all of us.
But it was also the team they were playing.
The Ravens are the same caliber.
Okay.
They pose the same threat. Like,
Is Lamar in the playoffs the same caliber?
Bruh, he was a 2-point conversion away from tying the game.
Tying it, but not winning it.
So what?
What? It's all about the win.
But it's tied. Who's gonna win?
Who had the ball last?
So we just know for sure that
We had
the way he played in the second half is gonna go down the score?
we had a minute and 33 seconds with 2 timeouts.
How do we know? Based on the way they played in the second half, how do we know for sure that they're gonna go and score?
That's where I'm getting.
Listen, and if you don't think in that game that with a minute and 33 seconds with 2 timeouts, like they're gonna go down and most realistically, they're going down and kicking the field goal. Tyler Bass, game over.
So you would be willing to bet your house?
Yes. The way they played, yes.
Wow.
Yes.
The way they played in the second half, you bet your house.
Yes, they had the game in control the whole time.
Wow.
Yeah,
they don't need to beat people by 40 points, bro. They don't need to do that.
I just never got.
They don't need to do that.
If you already beating them by 11, why you even giving them?
Why do you need to if you're already winning?
I never got. Did you get the impression that there was a blowout? Like
No.
Honestly, I never thought about that. I never thought of a blowout brewing. But it was probably the atmosphere of the stadium itself too. It was probably the atmosphere of what was going on. I watched the game and it was slightly different watching on the TV versus being there. I just never had that thought that it was just the Bills had it in the bag. It just didn't. I felt like it was a knockdown drag, and I felt like the Bills were like, you know what? We're going to cause them to force. We're going to force turnovers. We got to win this game with turnovers. Our offense is not going to win this game. And I think that's how they looked at it. And they were like, you know what? We got Lamar with 2 turnovers. We got now, in the fourth quarter, we got now Mark Andrews has a turnover. We got Gibson fumbling. The ball is slippery. It's wet. Let's keep doing what we're doing. At the same time, we got a lead. And to your point, when they figured out Derrick Henry can actually run the ball, it started to look a little different. But when they came out with their Ravens offense, this was the Bills' game to have. And I don't think it was something that the offense is going to do. I think that's the disconnect. The Bills' defense was dominant. The offense was not. So to run up a score, I feel like the offense would have to be a lot better. They had to do a lot more that I don't think that they could do.
Bro, see, that's what gets missed though. The Buffalo Bills in these last 2 playoff games went up against the best and the second best run defenses in the entire NFL. Mm-hmm. And these last 2 playoff games, the Broncos were number 1, Ravens were number 2. They both had their worst games of the entire season against the Buffalo Bills. So it's not like the Bills weren't dominant. They were dominant running the ball. They had to be. Think about how good you have to be to have the number 1 and number 2 run defenses in the league have their worst games against you.
But you said we were dominant running the ball? Yesterday?
Yes. In the first half, yes, 100%.
I don't know. Okay.
In terms of being able to move people out of position, get the ball moving, be consistent in the run game, do you understand how dominant you have to be to move the number 1 and number 2 teams in the league off they spot? That takes a dominant performance. Now, that doesn't mean we have to think of the word dominance from the standpoint of we ran for 300 yards against them. I'm not saying we had Saquon Barkley numbers against them, but you have to be dominant in order to move those great caliber teams against the run off their spot. I don't think there's no denying that. And this is me giving the Bills credit. Like, look, for anybody don't get the wrong picture. I think the Bills did their thing last night. The only thing that I'm saying here, and the only thing that I want people to consider is, how's the game against the Chiefs going to look if Sean McDermott has the same approach? If we're up 21-10 against the Chiefs, and then we go into the second half and they ain't scoring and all this other stuff, are we going to have the same mindset of, oh, we got it in the bag, we good, we controlled the whole game? Look, I don't think anybody is going to think about Mahomes that way. The only reason we thought about Lamar that way is because we used to him choking in the playoffs. That's it. Nick Tape says you do know we could have scored at the end of the game and had 30 plus. You just want high scoring. I don't think it's about high scoring. In the same fashion that Mac just pointed out, if I know I'm better than you, I'm a dance around you. I'm a toy with you. I'm a play with you. The Bills had 27 points by the end of the game. They easily could have had 35 and not even broken a sweat. That could have been the dancing around the Ravens to let them know from now on and forevermore, y'all the little bro. That's the message that I want to send to teams like that. Like, that's the whole reason why I take the approach in a fight of, I'm going to put you in the ground and make sure you're not moving. Like, I don't even want you to have the idea that you could possibly come back. It ain't got nothing to do with fear. It's got everything to do with you waking up the next day and realizing the mistake you made. That's what it's got to deal with. Even if I don't think I'm better than you, I'm still putting you in the ground. Like, for me, that's just the way I see life. And that has nothing to do with fear. It has everything to do with I'm going to be consistent in my approach with everything. I'm either going to dominate or I'm going to get to a point where I could dominate. But there is no, just acceptable loss. Like, to me, yesterday, the game plan in the second half was everything that the Ravens did was acceptable loss. It was acceptable for the Ravens to score and almost tie the game. It was acceptable. To me, that's unacceptable. Steve says, life in football reveals who fights to win against fear, who fights to defend their limitations.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, that's a great point, man. Real quick, Ravens key free agents this offseason. Ronnie Staley, Brandon Stevens, Patrick McCarry, safety Marcus Williams, fullback Patrick Ricard, wide receiver Nelson Aguilar, cornerback Tre'Davious White, linebacker Malik Harrison, wide receiver Tylan Wallace, defensive lineman Brent Urban, linebacker Chris Board, Christian Welch is another fullback, Ben Cleveland, I think he was a higher draft pick a few years ago.
Who was this?
Ben, the Ravens.
No, who was the name?
Ben Cleveland.
Yeah, he was higher regarded.
Left tackle Josh Jones, quarterback Josh Johnson, wide receiver Steven Sims, wide receiver Deontay Hardy. Wow, I didn't know he was there.
You didn't?
No.
Oh, just like Codrington.
And then cornerback Trayvon Mullen. So they got some key free agents to sign. I think they do have decent cap space, don't they? Key, can you check on their cap space real quick?
I can do my part. Hold on a second.
Because I feel like watching that Ravens team, they're going to be better next season. Todd Monken is not getting a head coaching job. He just got there. So I think he gives them one more season. I think they add another receiver and maybe another offensive and defensive lineman.
You got 17 mil next year.
Yeah, I mean, it's
something.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to be able to re-sign Patrick McCarry if they're going to re-sign Ronnie Staley, but it looks like pretty much everybody else, with a big name is not going to be there.
No.
What?
Buffalo Bills top 51 2025 cap space.
Minus 1.5 million?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's ugly. Okay. All right. Look, we've taken enough time hashing out, what could have been improved or, whatever.
Can we take this moment to give our man some love? Maxwell Hollins. This guy is a must sign. He's a must resign. I don't care. I will die on this court. Huh?
He put Humphrey out?
Man, Mac, what wasn't he doing?
Yeah.
What, dude? This dude, Mac asked me, was he doing unquestionable substances? Like, you think I'm like, probably, because
you see what he walked in with?
Yeah, actually, I did. Yeah, no, when when they play that dun 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 when they kick off, Mac Hollins is like,
Every time.
yeah, he's doing the baseline the whole time. And then one time, what was it? I guess they said they're gonna kick the ball through the end zone, so he gets in this like sprinter stance. Ball's going, and he just stays like everybody's running. He's just like this the whole time. We're like, then he's the one that took Marlon Humphrey out the game on that block. Also, he was about to celebrate. The rest of it tell him he can't celebrate in the dude's face when he caught the first down.
Yeah. So a lot of people don't know this, but in the waistline of the Bills uniform pants, there's like a little small drug pocket.
Only his.
I'm sure you got some gummies or
Only
something
his.
there.
It was funny because we were out there and I'm like, we're watching the warm-ups, and I'm like, why is Mac's ankle showing? He had his sneakers on, but his ankles. I'm like,
you had your ankles out, bro?
No, Maxwell.
No, Maxwell.
Oh, Hollins. Okay.
Yeah. See, we got to coin a Maxwell for real now. I'm like, let's go with this. And Jordan Phillips, why is he still wearing the jacket? He's still wearing that same double down
in practice.
In the pregame warm-ups.
Warm-ups. He had his jacket.
I was
he
like,
had the jersey over the jacket.
But then he comes out with no sleeves on. Like, there's no middleman.
Yeah.
Either you're all the way hot or all the way cold.
He
Which
has
one?
the same mentality that Sean has. I'm not going to get cold unless I need to.
There you go. Because I was like, Sean, you ain't got no hair. Why is the back of your head open?
Right.
You got frostbite on that little nodule back there.
Oh, my gosh.
It's smelling sauce, Nathan Oliver said.
Yeah, that's gotta be what it is.
No, put the camera on me. Smelling salts. Smelling salts.
Looks like so. Maybe just squeeze it a little bit harder, make it smaller.
Double dose.
That's it. Now, I got a booger. Hold on. Oh,
right.
Man.
That's like the thing where the kid, what's the meme that says the kid said, my dad puts his face on he smells the table and jumps up and says, woo!
All right. So I need this from y'all right now.
You got it, man.
How electric was the atmosphere last night when Fitz took his shirt off?
Yeah, it was. So the funny thing about it was a guy in front of me when he came out. He hit me. He was like, "I'm surprised the shirt ain't off."
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as he said it, I'm like,
"Here it comes!
It's coming! It's coming!" You see Billy the Buffalo?
Yeah, he had the drawers on with no shirt.
He had the
Oh, the comb.
So Fitz did a video on social media when he found out he was going to be the honor. So he was in the car with no shirt on. He had a pick, and he was picking up the chest hair. He was picking it out.
That's amazing.
Right? So Billy Buffalo did the same thing.
I remember seeing that.
Picking it out.
I was like, that's weird, but I didn't ask any questions.
Yeah, them boys went crazy when Fitz took his shirt off.
Yeah, Fitz, it was weird because he had the jersey on over the jacket.
Yep.
And then he had like a T-shirt, but that was it. I'm like,
Yep.
yo, you wilding.
Yep.
But cool. It was good. Then they pulled the wool over eyes with the truck giveaway.
Yeah. So they picked a fan to kick a field goal. If you make the field goal, you win a truck. So I had this dude out there. I'm like, who is this dude?
Brian Mormon.
Yeah, but because it was weird because he had regular clothes on, but he had cleats. I'm like, who shows up to the game in cleats? Like,
he knew that stuff and everything.
Right? So he missed the first one. When he made the second one, and they revealed it was Brian Mormon, but the guy got the car anyway because it was off of his kick, not his. So he wound up winning the truck anyway.
The way the thing flew, he knew what he was doing. But the thing is, Brian Mormon's a punter, so
right.
The fact that he could still place kick, even I can tell you right now, I remember like loading his bags. He used to travel on vacation with footballs.
Did he?
He's a punt. He used to practice punting on vacations. He didn't take golf clubs. He took a big
I wonder
duffel.
how many footballs he lost on vacation.
I don't know.
Cause you punt them joints like
Yeah.
you
like,
ain't at a field.
I mean, he literally. I was like, wow, this dude's insane.
I don't know, all these damn footballs get in the ocean. Like, what the hell is going on here? All right. So when it comes to everything that we heard all week long, did y'all see the comments first and foremost of the Coach D's Corner and last Friday's episode and all that?
Comments? No, I didn't see the comments.
Bro, these Ravens fans, not just live while we were going, but after the show, and in the comments of the Coach D's Corner episode, these Ravens fans was like 45-3.
Yeah.
45-3.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like if you think you're gonna blow any team out, like you're very delusional. There's no way. Like, you're not blowing the team out. Like, they acting like the Bills wasn't a good team to begin with from jump. Like, we won the amount of games we won for a reason.
Yep.
Yes, you beat us in week 4, but okay, yeah, that's week 4. Like, we could say the same thing about how the Chiefs review the Bills.
Yep.
Yeah, you beat us every year in the regular season, but what happens in the playoffs is a different story, right? Like, nobody's going into KC thinking like, oh, we gonna blow these dudes out, we gonna smash these dudes. Nobody's thinking that because we respect the team and we know how good they are.
I guarantee
Just
you.
like Ravens should know to respect the Bills, like, and then we beat y'all before in the playoffs. Like, I don't know why y'all think just because y'all got Derrick Henry and y'all whooped us in week 4 that the same thing's gonna happen in the playoffs. It's not.
They won't say it, but I guarantee the Chiefs are like, we don't want to play either one of these teams.
No, they don't.
I guarantee they didn't want to play the Bills or Ravens. Like, that literally was the game of the AFC playoffs. Whether we win or lose next week, what we saw last night was the matchup that everybody wanted to see. KC, it's the division, it's the conference championship. Yes, everybody's going to watch it, but everybody wanted to see MVP versus MV maybe.
Yep.
And to a degree, it didn't really live up to its billing. But for a defensive-minded person, somebody that really enjoyed watching people hit people, I liked it.
Yeah. We all have children, right? And
I think so. I think so. You said right. I mean, who the hell's 8 birthdays that I just paid for?
oh my God!
Let me call Tiff and see what's going on right
Listen,
quick.
don't associate me with that. All my children are mine, bro. I don't know what you're talking about. No, I'm kidding. So what do children usually do right before they know that something is about to happen that they don't want to happen? They get loud. They throw what's called a tantrum. They scream. They puff out. They fall on the floor. They get they get aggressive. They hit. They do all this stuff, right? Because they know they're going to have to stop playing video games, or they're going to have to go to bed, or they're going to have to come in the house, or they're going to have to, do whatever it is they don't want to do, right? That's exactly what we had to deal with from Ravens fans all week long. They knew coming into this game, watching the Bills go 13-4, and basically towards the end of the season just toy with teams offensively. They had to get loud. They had to get big. They had to make the most noise so that they can let everybody know that something is about to happen that they don't want to happen. And it did. And it did. So where y'all at, right? Where y'all at, Ravens fans? Cyborg, where you at? Aaron, where you at? Calling y'all both out. Like I got the fist held up high message from Aaron in the form of a great game, y'all played great, blah blah blah. Like don't give me that in private. You came out in public. Every last one of y'all came in public trying to give us the business, trying to get in our DMs, trying to psych us out, trying to talk all of this to get us intimidated. Brothers, did we look intimidated at all?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not 1 second of the game. Not one. Like y'all said, Bills players was on the sideline chilling, coasting.
Mind you, they played Mr. Brightside before the Ravens drive. The Ravens didn't even drive yet, and they already playing Brightside. Normally, they play the game. They play the song when the game is over and you on the field.
It's
but
a party, bro.
They was playing it before they even drove.
Yep. Yep. Listen, that's exactly what you was talking about. Like we gonna dance in your face. We gonna, you know what I mean? Like ain't nothing you can do. Nothing you can do at that point. You know what's coming. You know what it is. One of the things that Damaris texted me in the first half, when Lamar fumbled the ball, he said it's game over. It's game over. He looks confused out there. He looks like he's not sure of who to go to or where to go with the ball. The run game ain't working. Game over. Listen, for as much as Ravens fans watched their team all season long and cheered for their team all season long and invested in their team all season long, at the end of the day, you have to admit that your players are who they are. And until you see them stop being that, shut your damn mouth. Shut your mouth. Until you see Lamar do it, shut your mouth. Because he ain't done nothing yet. He's 3-5 now in the playoffs. Lost to Josh Allen twice. So as far as we concerned, he ain't got no business being in the conversation with Mahomes. He ain't got no business being in the conversation with Burrow. He can't even get past Josh Allen right now. And that's not even a slight to Josh Allen. In the playoffs, Josh Allen owns Lamar Jackson. We can say that. He's 0-2. Chiefs fans were saying they owned us when we was 0-2. Change it. You don't like it? Change it. That's one of the reasons why I wish we blew them out. So now, like, just give me more ammo so I can get up here and get on these boys' heads all week long. Y'all thought it was going to be a blowout? You was right. You was right. You was right. We blew y'all out. First half, it looked like that to me. And one of the things that I was hoping for was just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it.
That's why we got all the comment receipts, man. We got them all. It's in there.
Yeah.
It's in there. Like the one Cyborg, like I was telling Key, he must have put in like 186 cry emojis that felt like it was laughable that the Bills were gonna beat the Ravens. Like that's laughable to him, right? But like I said, you gotta respect the team, man. That's all we're saying is you gotta respect it.
That's it.
Don't act like you just gonna wash all over us like we don't even deserve to be there.
Yep.
Come on, man.
One of the things that you didn't see Buffalo Bills fans doing this week, and I saw a few, but you didn't see the majority of us flying out of the woodwork talking about how we're going to slam the Ravens.
All right.
We know better than that, right? The world was talking so much stuff about how the Buffalo Bills is going to go into KC and spank the boys, or how the Bills were, Super Bowl caliber and the Bills are favored throughout the playoffs to make the Super Bowl and all this stuff. What did the Chiefs do? Okay, come on. We got humbled.
Yep.
So now we know. So for any of these young bulls coming up here thinking they're going to try to intimidate somebody, come on, have a seat, son. Let's talk. Before we step in that ring, there's some things you need to understand.
Yeah.
First and foremost, I'm going to beat that tail. Secondly, you got to earn your stripes in this league. Lamar's little bro. Ravens are little bro now. Y'all want to get revenge? Regular season don't count. Unfortunately, the Buffalo Bills had to learn that one too, the hard way.
Yep.
You got to do it when it counts. Send us home, and then you can talk some stuff. Until then, shut your mouth. All right.
Now, how good was it to see Trey White yesterday? It was so
Get
great.
called for a penalty too on top of that?
It was so great to see
Against
Trey.
the big receiver?
I'm not going to talk. The PFF had him as their best cornerback, which is probably true.
Who? Trey White?
Trey White.
How?
Because everybody else gave big plays, he didn't. He gave up a slant to Keon Coleman for 5 yards. He gave up the pass interference, and there was no. And they targeted him one other time. Everybody else was targeted. I mean, they had bad marks for their cornerbacks. They were playing pretty bad. But no, I laughed, but I had to say, okay, fine. You weren't, roadkill in the game, but. Seeing 25, it was funny. You were like, "Is that Trey White?" I said, "Yeah, no, that can't be." He said, "Well," I said, "Wow, it is Trey White." I forgot he was even there. I forgot. And at that point, I was like, "We have to win this game. I cannot have Trey White come back to Buffalo and win a playoff game. I can't have it. Not on my watch."
Yeah. Okay, so I don't know if y'all heard about this one, but Lou Anarumo to the Colts. What y'all think about that?
Dead man walking.
Dead man walking?
Yeah, it seems like the Colts a place you go, like the Jets, a place you go to die.
Yeah, their owner's a little wonky.
Yeah.
Every coach that go there, they don't do good. Frank Wright, remember Josh McDaniels went down there, had to come back. Like,
It's the owner. It's the owner. Even who's the dude that got the podcast? The punter.
Matt McAfee.
McAfee.
Pat McAfee.
Yeah, Pat McAfee. Even he said it. Like there's something going on with the owner. The owner is off his rocker a little bit. Okay. The refs for this upcoming game. Did y'all see that one?
Yes.
What y'all think about that?
It's the only thing I'm worried about.
The refs.
Only thing I'm worried about.
Key, you know anything about the refs?
I haven't looked at anything about the refs yet.
All right, so for our game is going to be Cleat Blakeman.
Oh, okay.
You know, you do know who that is.
I've heard of him. I think give
Let's
me a
look him
second
up
because
real
I
quick.
believe he's a ref that the Chiefs have a nice winning percentage of, and he has a propensity for calling a certain. Let me do some research on this one. Go ahead, talk about it.
Okay. So here's the deal. Because we're not gonna have a lot of time to cover everything, Chiefs between, this episode and Friday. So some of today's episode is gonna be Chiefs related, but the refs that we had in this last game, I would prefer to have those refs in every game we play. I don't think either team was favored, to be honest.
No, there was a couple of questionable calls, but it was tit for tat. So they did one for us and they got one for them. So, like, for example, I think they missed the pass interference that should have been called for us, but at the same time, they missed a roughing a passer on Lamar Jackson when they attacked him out of bounds.
Yep.
That was definitely called. That should have been called.
Yeah. So to me, it weighs itself out. And the other one, like the crazy,
The Ed Oliver one?
the Deion Dawkins hold. I'm like,
No, you know why?
Yeah.
And I know why. I saw it. It wasn't a hold, but what it was is it's icy, and he did have his hand here. So when he smacked his hands down, he caught his jersey, and that's when he fell right away. So it looked like he pulled him down. So I'm like, okay, I get it, but no, it definitely wasn't a hold. The guy slid, and people were sliding all over the place yesterday. So they got to take that into account.
Yeah. To be clear, that could be another reason why the Bills didn't start throwing the ball all over the yard. One receiver slips and the ball gets picked off. So I do understand that. I'm not without objectivity. But the play with Ed Oliver though.
Why you talk? Look what I'm doing.
Huh?
I said, why you talk? Look what I'm doing.
Are you serious? Yo, literally in the seconds we've been talking, this man just built a whole spreadsheet of referees.
what?
Look at it. Look at this. He's got dates. He's got teams. He's got stats. Like points attempted, penalties.
Is that all on that one officiating team?
Cleat? That's for Cleat.
That's for Cleat.
That's for Cleat.
Now wait. Does the same referee get the same team, like officials? Because the referee is the white hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do he get the same crew? Is the same crew, or he got different officials coming with him?
I think it changes from regular season to postseason. Though.
Yeah, I think it's the same from
Okay.
And then the Super Bowl is just all different guys. So
Right.
in the playoffs they take there's guys from other teams that they all put together with one.
Okay,
ref.
so it's not like the unit they do in the regular season where this team travels together. This
Right.
officiating travels together. So in the playoffs they mix it up.
Yeah.
They might keep the white hat, but all the other guys are different.
Right,
Okay.
right. So it's and that's to kind of avoid any type of consistency or inconsistent whatever just keep objectivity. And then for the Super Bowl they do the same thing again. It's all of what they feel are the best performing referees or line judges, whatever from around the league. But yeah, man, I think I'm and let me know what you guys think about this. I'm more of a proponent for refs just holding the flags in general. You know what I'm saying? Like yesterday we had 4 or 5 penalties called the whole game. I mean, there were a couple of big ones.
Yeah.
But after that, they just played ball.
Yeah.
I think I would rather have that than to have, flags every 3 seconds and like in my mind, if you throw 30 flags and you get 22 of them right, that's still worse than a game where they threw 5 flags and only one of the calls was right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, I'll still take the 5 flags and only one of them was right. Because at least I get to watch a game of football happen, with some sort of, entertainment value. But what do you guys think?
I feel like at that level, too, especially in the playoffs with so much on the line, like, I feel more you got to let them play. Like, let the players play, right? Like, yes, they're going to be hand fighting. Yes, they're going to be fighting for position of the ball. But, like, to me, I think they should be more relaxed in the playoffs because, one, I think you should let them see. First of all, you got to give let the players play. Fans like the game where it's not a whole bunch of flags being drawn. And 2, you don't want a situation where the game depends on a flag. Like, you don't want that, especially for the playoffs.
Right.
Like, I don't want this to be a whole Saints thing that happened a couple years ago where they were most blatant pass interference call I've ever seen in my life. They should have went to the Super Bowl that year, but they didn't because of that call. So I don't think the game should ever fall down to that. So in the playoffs, I think they should be less lenient when they throw these flags.
Yeah, I agree. Steve Noble says history says that one of the crews in the divisional round gets the Super Bowl. I would like the Sheffers crew. We'll have to look that guy up.
Cleat he's almost down the middle. His number is 53% for the home team. He called penalties.
Nice.
So yeah, I have to do some more digging, but I can tell you.
You know what his favorite call is to throw?
I can tell you. I can probably look that up as well.
Okay.
To find out what he calls the most.
Okay. So Bills Mafia North says, I'm getting annoyed at the posts that are like, oh, Mahomes is 9-1 with this ref. Well, the Chiefs in general have won most games. So all refs are going to have records in favor of the Chiefs, LOL. So what do you guys think about this? Because going into this Chiefs game, we've always had this perception that the refs are always on the Chiefs' side. Mm-hmm. But the stats actually say different, right? The stats say that the Chiefs have gotten a significant amount of more calls than their opponents since the inception of Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. And what that says is the Chiefs are actually not as favored as we thought they were. That they're actually more, the refs are against them.
I think
what I think it is if you look at it, it's always to come down to the crucial moments.
I was going to say that. Yep.
It's all about the crucial moments because Pat Mahomes has the #1 flag rate when it comes to overturning turnovers.
Picking up
interceptions, and there's a flag, it always goes his way.
That's a great point.
Because, like I said, I don't know if they try to do it to make it even. Like we give them these crucial calls, but we actually penalize them more. But it's not when the game is on the line. Yeah. Like I haven't seen too many games where the Chiefs lost because of a flag. They've won a bunch of games because of the flag. When have they ever lost a game because of a flag?
Yeah. I think Mahomes plays it the right way because you figure what they always tell you. Try to draw a flag. Try to draw a flag. How you do that? You throw the ball in tight when those are tight coverage and get somebody hit. You see an inferior cornerback that's on one of your better guys. You know he's going to grab him. What's the better way to get attention to that guy than throw the ball in that direction? Yeah. I see him holding them. And the refs miss it, let me throw it over there and watch. He's going to do it again. And it's a chess match. And I'm not saying Mahomes is like some kind of, all-world, all-knowing, I can make everything happen. But it is advantageous when you learn how to play that way. And all the greats do know how to do that. And Tom Brady knew how to bend it. Kobe Bryant read the ref handbook. Michael Jordan knew, the ins and outs of how to carry and how to get away with stuff and what to say to refs. Mm-hmm. So all the greats use these things, these tactics. And Pat Mahomes, yes. I said last time, Lamar and Josh are the top two, and Mahomes is in the category right now for me. But at the same time, he's been in that category forever. So he's gonna get that. He's gonna get that that leeway. He's gonna get that respect. Like they're like, why did he throw that ball? That was a bad ball. It couldn't have been him. We've seen him throw it a million times, and that's where those flags come out. Or that's when they pick him up. Like he wouldn't make that play. Pick it up.
Right. Nathan Oliver says, y'all ever gonna give some love to the terror that is Bernard?
What? Now I responded. I responded there. I said, "What is there to say that hasn't been said?" I've said forever.
I could.
He's our best linebacker, hands down. He's the best linebacker on the Bills.
Even
right
with
now.
58 on the field, he's still the best guy. Yes. He's our best defender. I mean, there's nothing else to say.
Now, did you pick up on the intros?
No, well, no. What? He came out last. He's a captain.
Well, was it him and Mar?
Mar was second last, and then he came out last.
So, but you think they did because he's the captain?
Mm-hmm.
Normally, when they do it, it's the best player on defense versus player on offense.
Comes out
like,
last.
It's usually the captain.
Josh always come out last, but okay.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Cause
so no, I mean, but no, Bernard. I think it was Nathan. Was it Nathan? I want to say it was. Trust me, you can accuse him of a lot of things. Slandering Terrell Bernard is not one of them because I mean, I got text receipts to tell you how much I like this guy from even last year.
Yeah.
So no, I know you're not calling me out, but I really do like Terrell Bernard, and I think they just need to build the D line to make him better.
Right.
If they keep him clean, the world is his oyster.
Right. Doyle Fry says Lamar plays a dangerous game style. You can't be that ball dominant in the playoffs and not expect to turn the ball over. It's great for the regular season, but playoffs are a different animal. Does Lamar seem ball dominant to y'all? I mean, this season in particular, Derrick Henry did most of the work, right?
I don't think he's ball dominant, but like one thing I said for Key, like the thing that kind of irritated me was if you even pull up Lamar Jackson highlights from this season, you pull up his highlights, 90% of the catches he's thrown to the receivers, there's no defender close to him. And I'm like, how does he keep getting away with this? Like even in the Bills game, a lot of those passes, Bills were just getting. I'm like, where are they at? Like, so how are they consistently beating the zone and allowing him to be wide open when he throws the ball? Like we were right at home. They were complaining about he had way too much time. But I'm like, I kind of see why. Because if you rush him, what's going to happen? What was Lamar not doing when he's standing in the pocket? He's not running. Right? He's fast. He's quick. I don't want him to run. If he's run, that's how he kills you. I want him to stay up and pass. I want him in the pocket passing. So I think the Bills did that by design, and they dropped everybody back, and they allowed him the opportunity to throw the ball. But I just hate that every time he throws, there's always a completion where there's nobody around.
You know what was crazy about the Bills? And to your point, why he couldn't scramble? Well, not saying he couldn't because he did when he had to.
Right.
One, he doesn't want to. We saw that. He's had opportunities where he could have took off. But two, every time he thought he had somewhere to go, Milano was there because that was his one response. He was a spy the whole time. So, there was one play in particular, I think it was the first 2-point conversion, where Lamar looked to the right. It's like, cool, I'm about to wait, why is he here? And they hit it well because you got Milano who's only 6 feet, 6'1", behind 6'6" Jordan Phillips and I'm not gonna say Ed Oliver because he's down there somewhere. But Austin Jones who's like 6'3". You got Groot who's like a man among boys except with Falele.
Yeah.
Which is a huge man. That dude is humongous.
He was like, why is he that big?
I don't understand. And I never say people were big. This dude here. Wow. Can we get him in Buffalo? Can he just cause?
Is he? What's his age? What's his age?
He's not that old, but I think he's not even. He's a couple years in, maybe 26 or so. But he wouldn't do us any good.
No,
he's not. He's not good at all. But it's just the sheer size.
He's just size.
Yeah, just getting him. I mean, we have Torrance. Torrance is the world better. Torrance finally got a good grade from PFF. He finally got one. Yay! He got a 73 overall. Yeah, that's what they rated him this game. Finally, then he better not adjust it either.
Beth says, those of you that are local, BPS just closed schools for tomorrow. Yeah, that was about 30 minutes ago. Apologize for not getting that out sooner. Kids get a victory Tuesday.
Yeah.
That's nice. My wife was actually helping for that. She works at a school, too.
2 years, too. I said, hey, no chance.
Yeah.
No shot.
Yeah.
Nah, that would be cool if she did.
Steve Noble says, rap day-to-day with a hip, and Benford is in the protocol.
Benford, I see Benford get hurt. He got a concussion protocol.
I know he got hurt.
I saw him get up late from a hit, but I don't remember who he tackled. He was in on a play. It might have been him and another Bill in on a tackle with.
It was probably Hamlin. Hamlin was all over the place on there.
Yes, it was. It was Hamlin. Yeah. Well, it was Benford and Hamlin. They both went in, but I don't remember who they tackled. But I remember Benford getting up kind of slow on that one.
Yeah.
I'd say we're gonna need him.
What's the name? I was impressed with Cole Bishop. Like the fact that he stepped in with Rasul Douglas. I'm not jumping on Rasul, but he stepped in with Rasul with Hamlin and I mean he was in there and he was talking, communicating. He looked like he had been there before. I don't know if you noticed. He was
saw him,
calling a
yeah.
lot of checks, and
Yeah.
they did a lot of cover ones with him. He dropped that single man, and I was like, thank you, because Hamlin went down in the box, and Bishop came back, and I'm like, thank you. We finally have a shot at this, a look at this, because Rap can't do it, And it was funny because the first big play, Rap and Douglas, that first long boy, you were like, who was that on? I said, Rap and Douglas. The other one, Hamlin didn't sink far enough. I can go with that. You don't sink far enough is one thing, but you get blown by again. Come on, man. You got one job. So I thought Dwayne Williams and DeMar Hamlin they should get gold stars in teacher lingo for what they did to Henry yesterday. Yeah. 89 yards on 16 carries. Every time he had the ball, one of them was on his tail. One of them.
Yeah.
Or both of them.
Yeah.
And then Marmar did. He had that was a touchdown saving tackle.
Yes, it was.
Like if he didn't make that tackle, I think
Henry was gone.
He's to the house.
He had a full head of steam. He probably wouldn't knock his head off and go to the score. But I didn't realize that was him with the strip sack. I didn't realize that was him. They caused that fumble on Lamar Jackson.
Who, Hamlin?
That was Hamlin's sack. He got a sack yesterday, and that was him that caused the fumble.
Wow.
That Vaughn picked up. I didn't realize because I'm like, Hamlin ain't had no sack. I was like, half a sack maybe, but he ain't. But Groot was in there. I'll give him credit. Ed Oliver was the game record that I said before the game that he needed to be, and he was that. Yeah. I was just impressed with the fact that they took Daquan Jones out and put Austin Johnson a lot more. They rotated those D tackles a lot. Mm-hmm. And I forgot to mention. Remember, I went on a rant about Elianku. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize they cut him to get that backup quarterback for the practice squad. They cut him off the practice squad to get that quarterback, Anthony Brown.
Did they really?
Yeah. So Anku's been cut by the Bills like 8 times now. So just don't come back. And it's not even you. It's not you at this point.
Just
it's
don't
us.
take the contract, man. You
Right.
know they're going to offer it. Just don't take it.
It's just us.
But speaking of that, did y'all see Poona Ford?
Yeah, he's been balling.
Why?
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 Okay, I can tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because they put Poona Ford on the field with Ed Oliver when they thought that's what they thought. Poona Ford and Ed Oliver is like the same guy.
Yep.
So you can't have both of them. They're liabilities in run defense, but they're good pass rushers. So putting them together, you mitigate everything they're good at and make them look really, really, really bad. And the Bills say, you know what, you suck. Take your jersey off. You're going to sit in your sweats. And that's what happened.
Yeah. Jeff says Milano looks good now. He's going to get better and better these next few weeks. We didn't see Milano against the Chiefs in the regular season, right? How do you think he deals with the pass game? Like how did he in your minds yesterday? How did he look in the pass game? Because it looked like the Bills used him more for spy and stuff like that. Like how did he look in coverage from what y'all saw?
I didn't really see Milano too much drop back in coverage. It was like he was spying and he was in the run game. But if he was, like I said, they were getting beat every time he had a completion. There was no Bill around him. So I don't know what was going on. I don't know if people were missing assignments or was it just the Ravens receivers knew where the holes in the zone were and they were sitting in the holes. But I didn't like that, 90% of the time when they caught a ball, there was no Bill around.
Yeah, I think by design though. I think his main responsibility was Lamar Jackson. That's all they wanted him to do is spy him the whole time. He had one big hit, which was a cleanup hit on I think it was Bateman that knocked the wind out of his sails for a minute. But I think he played well, especially what they asked him to do. I don't think, especially if Douglas is going to be in this game, that Travis Kelce's going to go bananas. And I believe that this. Okay, let me go back because I was going to say I believe that Bishop is actually going to have a good game because Rapp is probably not going to play, and if he does, I hope it's in limited role because of hip.
Do you want? I don't know which one I would rather have.
I'd rather have Bishop over Rapp.
I like
Really?
Rapp. I like Rapp because of the hits.
But Bishop is a better man cover guy. Okay. So what they're going to do with him is they're going to put him in the box and let him travel with Kelsey, especially to try to run man.
There was a few plays though. He was way out of position deep.
Right. I mean, he didn't expect to play either, and playoffs. He just didn't. He thought he was gonna be sitting there eating popcorn with the rest of us,
Right.
but he forgot who he was backing up.
Yeah, that's another thing I was saying. He don't have that playoff experience.
No,
Yeah.
this week. But see, the thing about this defense, like we talked about, the defense is not built on skill. It's not built on talent. It's built on the guys the sum of parts. So if he gets a full week as a starter in practice, I think he'll be okay. But just like I said with Derrick Henry, just one guy that can beat you.
Yeah, but they're gonna have to really focus. Like the thing with Bishop is his it's his processing. He's not seeing the plays develop right. Think about what happened with the Texans. Even in the game last night, he jumped outside on a deep pass that was like near the hashes.
I can tell you why.
Why?
He didn't have to play right. He was scrambling trying to get the play. Cause I know what you're talking about. He was doing signals trying to get Douglas.
I think I saw that. Yeah.
So
you're right.
but see, that's the stuff I'm talking about. They clean up, and then also, you go into the game with a game plan, and when Rap goes out, and you know what Rap can and can't do, you don't know what Bishop can do in that same situation. What I'm saying now, if you have a Bishop in a whole week, you say, okay, don't do that. Tear that page out because it's not going to work with him because he's not ready for this play yet. So I think if you go into it with a clear, concise view of who's going to be the back two safeties, it'll help you in the advantage. And it doesn't hurt that you have a lot of battle-tested guys in front of them, both of them. Because let's face it, Damar Hamlin, he's not a playoff guy either. This is his first playoffs, because the only time he was a starter was when it happened. And I'm just going to say it. Last year was a wash, and now he's seeing the field this year as a full-time starter. So both of our safeties are not battle-tested at all. What I didn't understand, and I put this in my note, I forgot to say it, when Rat went down, that was their chance to have Dwayne Williams and Tyron Johnson on the field at the same time. That was their shots.
Oh, you're going to have Tyron Johnson cover for
You could put him in that safety spot and let him do what he does. I thought that would have been cool to see. But, we won, so whatever. It worked.
Yeah. You know what? Look, even if you put Cam Lewis back there, I think at this point I'd rather see that than to take a chance with Cole Bishop against the Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? If you say to Bishop, look, we're gonna get you ready for the Super Bowl if we make it, right? So you're gonna study, you're gonna this, that, and the other thing because you're better against the run and we need that. But with the way Cam Lewis has played this year, I think he would be fine at safety, to be honest.
Cam has been, when he's had to play safety, he hasn't been good. He's been good at nickel. He's been good at that slot corner role. But when he's been at safety, those are his lowest grade, lowest marks.
Well, which side? Which side? Like, who did he fill in for?
Let's see.
Because Bishop can't fill in for Hamlin.
Let me see.
You see what I'm saying? Like, there's a difference between playing strong and free.
Well, traditionally, yes. But as you said before, they both do everything the same. So I don't know.
Well, hold on. Don't put those words in my mouth. I said Hyde and Poyer can interchange.
No. I'm not putting words in my mouth. But I'm saying when we talked about you I remember this distinctly because you you shined the light in my eyes when you drafted Bishop because I didn't like the fact that we had a non-Hyde ball hawk, and you said they don't like that. They don't want that separation of roles. They want interchangeable guys. Mm-hmm. So in that thinking, that's what I'm saying. I don't know what side. I'm gonna look it up. I don't know what side he was playing on. To me, it matters more who's behind Douglas than anything.
Well, yeah, I think Hamlin needs to stay over there because every time he was over Benford, he got too comfortable. Like the deep play to who that Bateman that caught that deep pass on the hash. Mm-hmm. Like DeMar Hamlin is just, what is he doing? You know what I mean? If he's reading the play and he's continuing to backpedal and stay with the receiver like he was supposed to be doing, he stays over the top of that. Like, your job as a safety is to not let a guy get on top of you. So in that play, his job was stay over the receiver and bracket with the corner that was already there. You know what I'm saying? And I think the corner might have been Rasul Douglas too. So both of them.
Yes, it was Rasul.
Yeah, so
100%.
so both, like, I don't know. And the frustrating part is Hamlin is our best cover safety right now. You know what I'm saying? Who said this? Lindsay. I think he was trying to be funny. But she said it begs the question: does Hyde suit up for the KC game? No. There's no way.
Nope.
There's no way.
Nope.
There's no way.
He played right safety in week 16 the most, and he played left safety in week 15 the most. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean that's let me take a look at week 15 and 16. What was his rating? Just because I don't have the memory of you guys and know exactly what the heck happened.
I don't know about that. Steve says a week of practice with Bishop within the game plan, and I think he will be fine.
That's what I said. I think so too. I believe it.
I'll put it like this. By this time in the season, how is he still at the point where he's making bad reads? Like we've not seen this. I struggle to use the word ineptitude, but I'll say ignorance, because ignorance just means you don't have knowledge, right? The ignorance of Bishop in this defensive scheme right now with what he's being asked to do going into the AFC Championship game. Like, bro, you sat the whole season. You know what I'm saying? With the mistakes that you made in the Texans game and some of these other games, by now you should have studied enough to have it down. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. And I get being a rookie in the NFL is hard, and being a safety in the NFL is even harder. But, man, like,
I liken that to, you ever seen the movie Battle LA?
Yes.
You remember when they had the staff? Did you see it? When they had the staff sergeant, the battle tested dude who they like demoted, I guess, and they put the young boy up there. Like Whitey, because he had a high school, he just got out of school. He had the philosophy.
Yep.
He nailed it.
Yep.
But as soon as he got on that field, in the libels, he freaked out.
Yeah,
he fell apart. And so that's like, I get it, like to the point, like it's like
that's
okay.
a good point. That's a good.
Yeah,
he could
like,
be freaking out there.
He's out there, and you see he's doing all this stuff, and he's like, I'm playing against Lamar, I'm playing against Derrick Henry. What if he comes my way? You know, but
right.
After a week, after he's played in the coldest that we're gonna play for a while, I guess. I don't know what Kansas City's slated to be on Sunday, but you know, it's a lot to take in. A night game, high stakes, court MVP versus MVP. I didn't think I was gonna play. Now I'm on the field. This is crazy. You know, you start tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow they're going to start with installation of game plans and all that stuff, and they'll go through and say, okay, this is what you can do. This is what we need you to do. This is where Taylor would be, but we need you here, and this is what Micah Hyde comes into play as well.
Yeah,
Micah Hyde. This is the number 2 Bills draft pick, and Micah Hyde's got it. He came in for one reason. It wasn't to suit up, Lindsey. Sorry, it was to work with Damar Hamlin, Taylor Rapp, Cole Bishop, Cam Lewis. Not Kareem Jackson. He's a fossil in his own right. Sorry, Kareem.
I forgot he was even on the team.
He's probably going to get called up. That's who's going to get called up. Not Micah Hyde.
Listen, I would even like to see him play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just with his NFL experience. Like, dude, just go out there and do that.
Has he been in the playoffs a lot, or? That I don't know. Kareem Jackson.
Yeah, yes. Kareem Jackson.
Let's see. He was. Okay, so Houston's the 1 year with us, I'm guessing, where you played against us.
Mm-hmm.
Denver, they were pretty bad those years, weren't they? From 2019 to 2022?
Yeah.
Houston last year, so he was here last year.
Huh?
He was in Houston last year.
Yeah.
So they went to the playoffs last year, didn't they? Yeah,
Yes,
they did.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's been there before.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'm good with. I wish
he played against some good competition too, though. I mean, for the years he played, he played against Andrew Luck. He played, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, I wish Bishop would have got more integrated in during the regular season. You know, just sub packages, whatever the case may be, just to get his feet wet. And that's what happens. You know, that's the thing about Buffalo. You can't poo-poo on somebody when they first start and they make a mistake, because what do? You learn from your mistakes. McDermott preaches it. You make them, you learn from it. You know, so you can't yoke somebody up because they made a mistake. I'm not saying we're doing that. Like I said, when I just figured out what my voice was on this show. I'm like the bipartisan dude. Like I'm not really a fan thought person where I don't get emotional, but at the same time I kind of am in the non-emotional sector of the weeds of the coach and why they do the things they do. So I mean, I feel like Bishop should have been on the field and made his mistakes against the Jets, against the Dolphins, against because you knew you're going to go to the playoffs. We knew this. Yeah. We knew it was coming. This is a cupcake division. At the very least, the division was ours. So you got to be ready. Keon Coleman, was he good for the majority of the season? No. Did he do anything for no. But the thing is, you kept going. So now when he's on the field, he knows where to go. He knows, that little slant on Trey White. He's making moves now because he knows the speed of the game. So it's unfair to thrust your guys in. And Osiris Torrance played 100% last year, his rookie year. Dalton Kincaid would have played way higher if he wouldn't have gotten hurt. So you got to throw your high picks in, the ones that you got that you think might be your cornerstones. Mm-hmm. You got to put them in the fire. That's what training camp and obviously put them in the fire. Let's see them go. And that's the way I look at it.
Right. So real quick, Steve Lynn says, Micah will coach Bishop 24/7. Hope he makes a big play on Mr. Swift. Steve Lynn also says we got to get over this KC trauma with a real playoff win. Yeah, I agree. Listen, beating these guys to get to a Super Bowl instantly eliminates all of that for me. Until we accomplish that, it might still be there. Nathan Oliver says, y'all gonna rag on Keon too? No, you know what this comes down to. This is the frustrating part about it, and some of y'all are probably gonna throw your hands up in the air when I say this, but Cole Bishop gets on the field and makes all these mistakes and is allowed to get back on the field, yet Kyer Elam can't.
Oh, I thought you were gonna go somewhere else.
Where? What'd you think?
I thought you were gonna say Himbo, because as soon as he dropped, get out. What? And now that's your guy.
Gotta make everything about Himbo now.
No, I can go other ways. I can go Hamlin, Himbo. I mean, we got to look Mac Hollins. We got a little time.
Hamlin has had so many opportunities.
He's had a lot. I've given him a lot of love.
Right? Yes, bro.
I'm talking about the love of me. I got my guys.
I get it.
I got to get to Alec Anderson somehow though.
I'm still trying to understand the Kyer Elam situation.
You never will. Don't. Life is too short. Life is too short. Right. It's been 4 years of a paradox. You're never gonna get to it.
Yep. George Bailey, welcome to the show. He says Hamlin basically acknowledged after the game last night that Michael was there to coach them and was instrumental in Bishop's development.
Nice.
Yeah, just to clear it up for anybody else saying he needs to put some pads on. Steve Noble says, I truly believe our front seven is fine. The weakest point of our team is the secondary. Mm-hmm. Here's the thing with that. Part of the reason, my Damaris said this to me in our discussion earlier today. He said, part of the reason they didn't need to go all out to score and stuff like that was because who were the Ravens going to throw to consistently? You know what I'm saying? To that point, the secondary had been, keeping the ball in front of them. They had been controlling, most plays, and the receivers didn't really offer a huge threat. I don't see this Chiefs team coming up being that much bigger of a threat. I mean, Hollywood Brown is back, mm-hmm. but they don't use him often enough, and he probably doesn't have the chemistry with Mahomes to be, you know what I'm saying, a huge deal. Worthy gets a few touches. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's Kelsey. It's still Kelsey. It's always going to be Kelsey until he lays down in a coffin. You know what I'm saying? But I think that's one of the things. Even though the secondary is probably our biggest weakness right now, I don't think it's going to cost us anything in the playoffs. And even going against the Eagles, because I think the Eagles are gonna win at home. I'll say when we see the Eagles in the Super Bowl, Jalen Hurts is not that quarterback.
He got hurt too.
Right.
Concussion?
No, knee.
Oh, knee. That's right.
Yeah, he got hurt.
So, I mean, right now it's an issue, but it's not a problem. You know what I'm saying? I think we could survive that. And I think, listen, going against Lamar Jackson and the performance he put on last night, I think the secondary will be fine. Right. See, Kev says, unless you are Elam. Kev says, Bishop could have played the last 5 weeks when we clinched the division. That is something that I would have liked to see. They did some of that in the first Patriots game when Josh was still in the MVP race. I wish they wouldn't have did that then. Yeah, they probably could have gotten away with it on defense, but that's
I was
we
going to say
passed that
Tape Nation, Bishop's a box safety, and that's it. He's a part of the run game, and if we need him, if we ask him to cover tight ends, he's putting them out of position. Now, okay, that's what we've seen, but let me ask you, what is the main reason they drafted him?
Who?
Cole Bishop. They drafted him with the notion that he was a tight end cover guy.
Yeah.
That was the main thing. So what you've seen is he's a box safety, but that's not what the perception of Cole Bishop is. So we have to see if he actually can do it, or is he relegated to just being a box safety, in which case the pick was useless.
Yeah, based on what I've seen now, I think he's going to end up showing that not that the pick was useless, because we need two safeties. So I still think, letting him play his more natural position as a box safety still works. You know what I'm saying? Let's let him, get in the room with Terrell Bernard and Matt Milano and really, learn the nuances of how they play the run and stuff like that, and let him be a great box safety.
Well, yeah, I mean, but I think when I say useless, it goes to the point where you could have waited and got your guy James Williams.
Oh yeah.
You could have waited and got T.J. Temp. You could have got Tyler Newman. You could have got you could have did something if you really wanted a safety.
Pick at
Right.
The time.
So. To pick there for something that he's not is kind of asinine, where you could get that, and that's where your guy, 6'4", 230, would have been a big fit at linebacker. He'd have been our biggest linebacker.
Yeah.
So there's that. I want to see Edifan Uwafashio. I'd say that to Mel. And this is me going to dip into your world for a second. I was playing Madden, and I'm like, why is he rated so high? Why is he already got like a star designation?
Who?
Ulafashio. I'm like, what do people know about him? I don't know. I need to see him now. I mean, obviously you're not going to do it now, but I want to know what is it about him that makes him so great.
He was in college, bro.
He was Well, he was a cover guy. He wasn't a game wrecker, but he was a known linebacker. Especially in the Pac-12 where everybody throws the ball everywhere.
Yeah.
So I just want to know what it is. I want to see it now. I'm intrigued. I'm really intrigued.
I stand by it. The bro can play.
Oh yeah.
He can definitely play. So I wanted to get to this one. So Lynn says soft, small, slow D line can't let Mahomes get his game on. Are you saying our D line is soft, small, and slow, or the Chiefs?
Who said this?
Lynn. It would have to be ours because their defensive line is kind of big. Steve Noble says, with our secondary, I would much rather play the Eagles than Washington in the Super Bowl. Yeah, I agree. Again, it's because Jalen Hurts is not that kind of quarterback to be slinging it all over the yard.
I got to watch Washington.
He said, he said he'd rather play the Eagles?
Yeah. Than the Commanders?
No, I'd rather play the Commanders.
Why?
Rookie quarterback. They got one threat. And they running backs is so-so.
What about the defense? The defense isn't the Philly defense.
They beat the Eagles this year already, though.
I ain't got where to be.
1-1.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. The Eagles, man, they got Saquon. They still got A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. They got weapons on both sides of the ball. I would rather, safer bet for me, I would rather play the Commanders.
Who's their backup quarterback?
Who?
Eagles.
Kenny Pickett.
A starter? A bona fide starter?
Huh?
Not bona fide.
Yeah, I was about to say Kenny
proven,
Pickett.
not proven, but a previous starter.
Yeah.
First round draft pick. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd rather play
Washington.
Yeah. Because they got Scary Terry
I love when he
and
says that.
Zach Ertz.
Scary Terry.
He
Right.
only refers.
He
to
says it with a
Florida
straight
as
face, Scary Terry.
Yeah.
His first name is Scary, last name's
You don't
Terry.
need to say his last
Yeah,
name.
so you got Scary Terry and Zach Ertz. And then you got Brian Robinson Jr. You got Austin Eckler. I'd rather go against them than Barkley. And, yeah. I'd definitely rather take the Commanders. Now, I will say this. I think Jayden Daniels is playing way better than Jalen Hurts is playing.
100%.
But at the same time, he's still a rookie. So
Okay. All right. Listen, the playoffs have not been too big for him so far, but we'll see how an NFC Championship works on his soul.
Yeah.
I'm about to see. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was just simply going to say, we also got to consider what the level of the Super Bowl and how that would impact the rookie too.
I'm going to do this the same way I did this past weekend.
What?
I'm not watching nothing else until the Bills play.
Nah.
Because the thing is, Kansas City played before, so they're playing Houston, and I'm like, if they win, then we play. I'm like, no, we didn't do our part yet. I don't want to watch that game if we're not playing. And I'm not scouting anything if we're not going to play. So after we play the Chiefs, should we win?
Then you watch.
Then I will watch.
Really? How are you going to avoid this?
You see basketball's on. Judy!
All right, fair enough.
Nah, but I it's funny because Saturday was a busy time anyway. We played the division, and me and T did our normal Saturday gala event, and so by the time I got home, it was a moot point. Sunday, I didn't care about the first game. I watched Dexter until it was time to go to the game yesterday.
Yeah.
So next week, if we win on Sunday, I'll watch Saturday.
Yeah.
Or no, it's both games on Sunday, aren't they?
Yes.
Or no, okay,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, they're both on Sunday.
Okay.
So I just want to say, remember when I said if the Bills go to the Super Bowl, that they had to play who?
Play what?
I said if the Bills go to the Super Bowl, they would have to play against who?
The Eagles.
The Eagles.
Mhm.
And notice Washington and the Eagles.
Both NFC East
Yes.
teams. Yeah.
It's destined, bro.
We got to play
It's
the Eagles. That's the
destined.
only one we didn't play.
We got to play the NFC East. It's destined.
I don't want to play the NFC East, though.
Every Super Bowl we played was an
You don't
NFC
have a
East
choice
opponent.
I know. I don't want to play the NFC East.
Nah.
Because if we go Super Bowl and lose, then we're going to be the only team that knows that lost to every team in the division. Every time we went to lost to the same division. That's too much for my shoulders to bear.
Oh,
Cowboys,
man.
Giants, Washington,
Eagles
and
and Washington. We already lost to Washington. I already lost to Cowboys twice. Lost to the Giants. I can't do this no more. Give me a different NFC team. Give me a different NFC, please.
Yeah. No bones about it. Says I'd rather play Washington. Well, yeah, I get it, Jeff. You're right. He says, "Hey, fellas, let's beat KC first." Yeah,
There we go. That's my long-winded part.
We're
That's
not
what I'm
thinking
saying.
past him. We're not thinking past him.
Yeah.
JB says Bills ASS. I mean,
Oh, he must be. Is he a Chiefs fan?
are you a Chiefs fan?
Is this
JB?
a new person?
I've never seen JB before.
I'd say I don't know if you've been watching the comments of the same thing the Ravens did. They said we were trash and then they lost. So like, do you really think that that's gonna happen? And mind you, I don't know if you saw it, Key. Before the game started, you see what they play on the scoreboard? The
No.
dude with what
Oh yeah.
what
Yep,
Coleman
yep,
said.
Yep.
City of losers. Like so that kind of proves my point. Where when I said like the NFL players, they'll say all the time, I don't care about social media, I don't look at the comments, blah, blah, blah. But isn't it funny how that is playing on the Jumbotron at the Bills game before they play? Why? Because even though they might not talk about it, they see it. They see it, and it affects the players. Now, it might not affect them in the way we think it might affect them, but they know what people say about them, and they know what's out there. So the fact that people say the Buffalo is nothing but a city of losers, like that fuels us. And you saw what Josh Allen said right after they interviewed him. They said we was too small. They said we was too slow. They said all these things. Why was the first thing that he said was what somebody else said about them?
Because he was watching freaking that Madden intro when Ray Lewis was talking. It was a word for word.
He did the Ray Lewis speech.
He did a Ray Lewis speech. Man, you just played Madden 13. Man, get out of here. Nah, but I mean, it's one thing. But like I was telling Mac, I said in the car, I said, we need dudes like Matt Collins who's got that fire. We need dudes like that. Yeah, I'm not saying you got to get penalties and stuff like that, but I'm saying you need people on your team who are not afraid to go to war.
Right.
And truly not afraid to lose their life over the cause. And I don't feel like we have enough of them yet.
Yep.
I saw your face like that. What you got?
Steve Noble says, I have a lot of barbecue friends in KC. They all wanted the Ravens to win because they do not want to play the Bills. Trust me.
Of course
that
not.
fan base is not looking forward to Sunday. They better not be. They better not be. We coming to town.
Let me ask you this though: whether we win or lose, is this a successful season for the Bills?
No.
If they win or lose?
Lose or win, would you say this is a successful season for the Bills?
I can't do it.
No?
I can't. You can't do it.
I'm gonna say yes because the beginning of the season, which one of us said that they were make it this far?
That's why I
that
said I
was
can't.
me.
That's why I had to
So
think
me.
about it. What you just
So the
said.
fact that they made it surpass our expectations, to me, it's already a win.
No, like you just said, that's why I had to think about it.
Yeah.
Because I that's exactly what came through my mind when you said that. I was like, man, thinking about where we are and the talent level we have uncovered, or if it's a scheme we uncovered, I'm not satisfied. But if you go back to day one, when we were talking about 11 win max or whatever the case may be, getting bounced into the divisional round again. This is a success, even though it's a small success that we didn't place on this. Because we never did. We did this one time in 8 years.
Right.
So
Right.
that's a hard question to answer without just really thinking about it.
Right. And here's the other part of that too. Like if you had heard me say I don't think the Bills will make it this far, but then you said, okay, well, what if I told you that the rest of the league was going to be Dookie Juice,
Yeah.
and our division was going to be even worse than Dookie Juice? What do you say now? I probably would have said, all right, we'll make the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that. All right, I'll give it to them then. But if the rest, like the way it was trending, it was like, all right, the rest of the league's making all these moves. It looked like they got better on paper, So
Yep. No, I
So
agree.
y'all think that the NFL got worse from last year?
No. I just mean in terms of how they played. Like the moves that they made, they were supposed to be better. That's why I thought the Bills would have a tougher season than they had, on top of them already having a difficult schedule to begin with. But all those teams that we thought were going to be great really weren't. You know what I'm saying? Like realistically, our schedule was softer than the Ravens' schedule. You know what I'm saying? And they play in a tougher division.
I can't say that because they ain't played the Lions, they ain't played the Vikings, they ain't played. You know what I'm saying? They didn't play the top teams.
Yeah, but again, the rest of the teams that were supposed to be good, the Cardinals were supposed to have improved and were okay. The Jaguars took a huge step back. The Dolphins were supposed to be much better and much improved. They didn't show up until later on in the season. The Jets were supposed to be an elite, Super Bowl contender.
Man.
They were supposed to be. Everybody was talking about the Jets at national media, so it's not just me.
But what I'm saying is, there's no evidence to say that they were supposed to be because they never been. So, like to me,
Well,
for example, like you mentioned the Jaguars. The Jaguars were good last year, so you would think that they wouldn't decline. The Jets never been good, so I don't know where people think that they were supposed to be good because they was never good.
No. But in a way they were, and here's why: the quarterback they had playing for them last year after Aaron Rodgers got hurt, they beat teams that they had no business beating. Right? They won games that they weren't supposed to win, and the defense looked so elite that people looked at that team and said, man, all they need is a quarterback that doesn't lose games for them like Zach Wilson did.
But how can they say that they even go to the playoffs? They didn't even make the playoffs.
I don't even think them going to the playoffs was the point. Because that still would have meant that they had good quarterback play. You still have to have good quarterback play to make the playoffs. I don't think people were concerned about whether or not they made the playoffs. I think people were just they were projecting. They were looking at what the team had in game and on paper and saying, that's a great defense. That's a great running back. They just need some offensive line pieces and a quarterback that doesn't lose them games, and they'll make the playoffs. And with that defense, they have a shot at the Super Bowl. And I don't think there's many people that at the beginning of the season would really argue with that. Like, everybody widely thought that. And yes, you were ahead of the curve. You didn't think that at all. You ended up being right. I get it.
So here's the thing, though. Like, it's what people look at is not, how can I put this? The evidence that people say this is what makes them good is not relevant. I don't care how good the defense is in rankings. If you're not winning games and at least make it to the playoffs, you're not a good team. The good teams make the playoffs. The bad teams don't.
See,
Case in point.
For me, this was the Jets especially. They started off the season with a quarterback with a head coach on the hot seat. They start off with that. They still start off with the same idiotic owner, the same poison, and this organization is screwed until the owner changes. That's how I look at it. You could have gave them the Michael Jordan of quarterbacks at the time, and he would still find a way to screw it up. We've seen it so many years before. I think we were talking about it when we made the bet. I was like, if you would have said, what was it? If you would have said
the Dolphins or
the Dolphins, we like
or New England.
Hold on a second, yeah.
Well, yeah, and that was kind of my point. It's like, okay, so if Tom Brady, like the Randy Moss Patriots team, if Tom Brady gets hurt in week 2 of that season, right? With everything they had, Randy Moss, what they had on defense and all that, would you say they were a bad team?
Whether a bad team? No, because their defense was still good.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. When it comes to the Jets, I think that's what people were seeing. They were seeing the players they had and saying, those are all good players. They just need a quarterback that makes the car go.
Yeah, but to me, like, the difference with that scenario is the Patriots were a playoff team already.
Okay, that's a good point.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Yeah, you got good players, but if you ain't making the playoffs now, a quarterback is one player is not just all right. Now these dudes went from the totem pole, the bottom of the totem pole, to they're gonna win it. Like you got to get to the playoffs first.
Right. But what were the Buffalo Bills saying in 2002 before we got Drew Bledsoe? Man, with this defense, if we just had a quarterback, we could be dangerous.
But again, at that time, we were a playoff team.
Yeah. Nobody. Yeah.
We were a playoff team.
In hindsight, I know what you're saying, but when we're at 17 years old in 2001, like, yo, okay, it's all right. It's only been 3 years. We were in the Super Bowl like a year or 10 years ago. We're good. And then 17 years later,
right,
we're like, we didn't see this coming. We didn't put garbage bags on our head, but everybody else did.
The reason why I said it, because to me, I think the NFL went up a tier than last year.
Really?
Yes, because you figure all the teams that were good, there's a reason why they're not good is because defenses figured out how to beat them. So to me, it's more competition because, like you said, those teams that you thought were good, once you get tape on them, I know how to stop that. And they didn't adjust. The Lions did. The Bills did. Like, the better teams adjusted. Even I got to give credit to the Chiefs. They adjusted. But nobody else really did. So that's why, to me, like I said, I think the teams got better from last year to this year. Mm-hmm. So I still, when people say, no, I think the Bills did have a hard schedule. It's just people just didn't think that they were going to win the games that they won because of the roster when the 53-man roster came out.
Well, but to a larger degree, all of that is just the function of the NFL in general, because what you're referring to is just the transference that takes place every year after the draft. Like, people figure out teams, but then there's other dark horse teams that make the playoffs. The Broncos were one of those teams where they got a rookie quarterback. They were good. Last year they had Russell Wilson. Nobody thought they were going to do anything. So there's always going to be that flush, that cycle of teams that were good the year before, but they're still the teams that were at the top. You know what I'm saying? And those teams that were at the top, the Texans aren't what they were. The Chargers got better, but who else fell out of the playoffs that were in there? Like the Steelers. The Steelers ended up being worse off than they were last year. They made the playoffs last year. They went against us. So, in a sense, the teams that were supposed to be good, I should say it like this. The NFL didn't get worse, but the teams that were supposed to be good and were supposed to be in our way weren't. You know what I'm saying?
I think Kevin said best, to answer your question, yes, with this roster. And I think you have to go with how you're looking at the question. Are we looking at how we thought in the beginning of the season? Are we talking about MVP almost or MVP level Josh Allen with James Cook running for 16 touchdowns?
Right.
I mean, it's two different answers based on how you take that question. So if we're going based on where we are now, would this be a successful season we lost? No, it's not, because of everything we did. But I'm off.
We got people saying that it's hard to hear. I'm just going to turn this all the way up. All right, how's that? Is that much better? Steve, Lynn, let me know what you think. All right.
But yeah, no, I think it's a successful season based on how we started, and it has nothing to do with Amari Cooper. See, I would even say if Amari Cooper came in and carried this team, it would be a non-success, but he did nothing. It's the same roster we started off with. Mm-hmm. They just found a way. Mm-hmm. But I still want to see, if we're talking about the current team, how far we can go. This is a Super Bowl team right now. You're talking about a team that's playing against a Chiefs team that they should beat. They're playing against a team that, barring a coaching blunder, barring something crazy happening, this should be our game. Not saying we should run away with it, because that'd be foolishness. But, to say that we're going to cower and bow down because we don't belong again, that's not going to happen.
Right.
Not a Super Bowl, that's uncharted territory. That moment is big, and that's a whole nother monster that we just got to get to and see how we perform. We had a comment, Nick's Tape Nation. Disagree with me that we have dogs, a lot of dogs like Mac Hollins on this team. I don't know who they are, honestly. I mean, we got Ed Oliver, I guess, but
Oh, he's saying we got more dogs than him.
I'm not saying Mac Hollins is the only one, but I'm saying a lot of the guys that we have are not really that I'll die in the cross for this. I'm gonna, that's what I'm talking about. I don't think we have a lot of those kind of guys that those role players that actually matter. So I mean, there are guys on the team, but I wish we had better players on the team like Mac Hollins. Because a lot of the good guys we have, they know they're good, and it's the Alec Andersons and whatnot that have to back them up.
Yeah.
I had one more comment. You got anything else?
Yes, I got one more thing. Go ahead.
Okay. You got anything?
Mm-mm.
All right. I'll wait for you to do your thing then.
Oh, okay. So real quick, I got a list of people specifically that I want to address in the national media.
Yo, what's that boy McIntyre? He better be on this list for no reason. The dude from the Jets that I called out when we were nobodies for real.
No.
Dang, Jason McIntyre's the name, right?
Jason McIntyre is not on this list.
Dang it.
So to these guys, I'm gonna read off their names. Every last one of these dudes, like, Ravens gonna win this game. Ain't no question. They was saying with so much confidence. Matter of fact, I'm gonna add one more name to this one.
Make sure you got what y'all on there.
Broussard. It should be Keyshon. Make sure it's H-O. No, I'm joking.
Listen,
Chris Broussard better be on that list.
Ryan Clark, Shady, Acho, James Jones, Chase Daniel, Keyshawn Johnson, Chris Broussard, and Ed Reed.
Yes.
Every last one of y'all got up on y'all show and was so confident. I'm gonna hit it again. Y'all was so confident. Matter of fact, we need some party music. Right. Chris Broussard talking about we under duress. Bruh, your robe is under duress now, bro. Your sandwich is under duress. Because they in the trash with your team right now, bruh. Alright? I'll let it happen. Every last one. I'm going to say the names again. Ryan Clark, Shady, Acho, James Jones, Chase Daniel, Keyshawn Johnson, Chris Broussard, Ed Reed. Every last one of y'all better give a public apology. Straight up.
Yeah.
And that's right, Sweat. And they get the Dookie Juice Award. And they get the Dookie, bam, right there. And they get the Dookie Juice Award.
How does that sound? Hey, how does the Dookie Juice Award sound? How does that sound?
Oh, I got it right here.
All four of y'all got problems. All of y'all. The whole production staff, the co-hosts, everybody got issues.
I'm gonna need some extra TP for that one.
Yeah, you might. It got elusive. It was real elusive on you.
Nate Burleson, there you go, Lynn. Nate Burleson, there you go.
Oh, my man Nate timed us out?
Yo.
He timed us out?
Yes, he did, bro.
You said Stephen A, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Huh? Who?
You said Stephen A, right?
Oh, I didn't say Stephen A. Stephen A.
I thought Stephen A was with us too.
Bruh.
He timed us out
after
too?
the fact. Yeah, he said we're going to lose.
All of these boys, bro, yes. Every last one of these boys.
Stephen A didn't go off on us, but he did have us losing.
I did see a rant where he was giving Josh credit because he said he don't mess up in the playoffs like Lamar do.
Mm-hmm.
But he still went and said the Ravens was going to win?
Yes.
Bro.
Yes, bro. Yes. So
all
the dudes.
Okay.
There you go.
You're welcome. Have a nice day. Steve Noble, to your question. It depends how we lose, honestly. If it's a coaching blunder, I'll die and eat crow and bow down to Mr. Lynn. I am positive and expect to be sitting at New Orleans for the Super Bowl. Now, one question, will that crow be barbecued? And if so, what kind of sauce? Will it be a wet sauce? Is it a dry rub? You got to let me know. And more importantly than that, what are you washing it down with? It's got to be the Reed's tea. It's got to be the Reed's tea. If you got to eat crow, we'll get some Reed's tea to go with it. Why? Because it's refreshing. It goes good with bird. delicious. It'll cover up that foul flavor. 2 parts healthy. It's got to be healthier than that bird that you're gonna be eating on that grill. That's what you can expect with just 4 ingredients. I didn't even drink tea before then, but let me tell you, it's a good drink there. What you doing? Head over to Reed's. Get yourself an individual or get a case. Don't get the individual. Don't be that guy. Get yourself a case. You won't be disappointed. What do I know? See for yourself. Reed's Tea. Click on the link in the description below. Let them know Post Put In Podcast sent you.
All right, folks. You know what time it is. All right, if you're hearing that music, that means it's time for us to get out of here. It is 8:31 in the p.m. All right, look, I need everybody that's with us right now, give us a like and a subscribe. And please hit that bell if you haven't already. Make that thing
Ring-a-ling-a-ling.
so that you can get notifications when we send notifications like the Bills is in the AFC Championship game, and we going to be ready with some Coach D's Corner on Thursday to give y'all the lowdown on how to beat these Chiefs in a much better way than we did in the regular season. We're going to have it locked down for y'all. Make sure y'all tune into that. Listen, I'm going to say it again. The link for our merch page is in the description of this video. All you got to do is click it now. Wasn't like that before, but it is now. Apologize for that, all right? But make sure you get you some merch, all right? All truth, no sodium. We got merch with the logo, the podcast logo. We got merch with the slogan on there. We even got mugs. If y'all have any kind of other merchandise that y'all want to see our stuff on that y'all can rock or take with you, whatever, let me know. I can get it ready for you. I can get it out there stat. All right. That's pretty much it. All right. So make sure you check us out. Next show will be on Thursday, and then we come back live Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you tune in for both of those because it's gonna be just as great as this episode was here. So we really appreciate all of y'all for being with us right now. Y'all got anything else, fellas?
Nah, man.
Peace out.
All right. This has been the Post Podium Podcast, home of the all truth. Some sodium today, but usually no sodium takes. All right. I've been your co-host, Aramis.
Melly Mac.
40 Keys.
All right. You have a great night. Peace.